Hey everyone, Avapal here, and today we're going to be continuing Tiny Bunny, and we're going to be on Chapter 2. Now, I went and bought this over on Steam. That's the only place you can actually get 2 and 3 for chapters. What's really cool is this isn't like the demo where, I mean it is, but there's actual voice acting, but it's not in English, so, that's okay. That just means I'll have to do some reading, I guess. Now, I did go through and I did a couple of the things a little different. I didn't know I could check everywhere, so I did that, and we actually got some evidence. So we have the boy's mitten. I also have a VHS, and there was the police officer number. So yeah, we have those things hidden away in our desk. So let's just get into it. Episode 2, Time to Play With You. New school, new teachers, most importantly, new classmates, who I always have trouble connecting with, like most other kids with glasses probably. I forced myself to get out of my warm bed. Dad would usually drive me to my old school. This morning, the bedroom of my parents was silent. Did they sleep in? Maybe it was a good thing. I didn't want to get that daddy boy reputation from day one. My parents were probably still tucked in, dreaming about the good old days when everything was so simple and easy. Sweet dreams, even if far removed from reality. I silently sneaked out to the first floor so I wouldn't wake up anybody, especially the peacefully sleeping Olia. Did my best to step on the middle of every floorboard. I used to play like this even in our old apartment. If my soles touched the space between floorboards, it counted as stepping into lava. The clock was spurring me on with its hands. I need to hurry, faster, faster. I was too fast, so I needed to circle the hallway once again. Boiling lava was bursting out of the cracks between the floorboards. I needed to watch my step, to survive at any cost. Hippity hop, like a frog jumping on molehills, like a fearful bunny in a grove full of wolves. Made a sandwich in the kitchen, shoved it down my throat, drank it down with cold tea. Not hot coffee. My appetite was as good as if someone led up a scaffold toward a guillotine. I lowered my gaze and saw that one of my feet was standing on 2 floorboards at the same time. Uh-oh. And he get burnt. Yep, burnt to a crisp, huh? I moved my foot. Disgusting little snakes withered in my belly. The fear of getting hit and being called nasty names. The clock clicked. I need to go. It was dark outside, fitting for an early winter morning. This darkness never fully left the houses around here. I took my time tying my shoes, buttoning up the puffy down jacket, trying to delay my unpleasant exit into the semi-dark, into the unnerving unknown. I wear my glasses for good luck, though I couldn't remember a single time these thick pieces of glass brought me any good fortune. Jeez! It is dark out there. The sky was akin to a giant bruise. On the east side of it, the black cloud was swelling up. It licked the stars from the sky and extinguished the rising sun. Darkness was plastered all over the treetops. The cautious cries of birds got tangled up in thicket. I locked the front door with my long key that I wore around my neck. My parents made me wear this noose, afraid that I, being a total klutz that I am, could lose the key otherwise. The wind whizzed on the other side of the gate and invited me into my new life, towards dubious adventures. And tagged alone like an old buddy, pushing me in the back. Wide shadows that pines threw out covered a third of the clearing. Upon reaching the edge of the forest, I hid my nose in the coat's collar. Hey, this is where we found the glove, right? I was squeezing through the thin fire break, my hair ruffled up and back hunched over. Tall trees stood on both sides of the tiny trail. The snowy blanket rustled along my feet, and the canopy of intertwined branches above my head cut me off from the already sparse starlight. Now, did they really take care of the dog problem that was going on? It wouldn't be good to send your kid out there into the woods when it's still dark out. They have another one. And I had no plans of moving away from the forest. In this darkness, trees reminded me of shaggy old women that smelled of burial earth. Their trunks turned into cracked, wrinkled faces with holes in the middle of their mouths. If I lost focus, even for a moment, mold-covered witches would drag me into the forest's depths. Then my parents would be walking around these parts, screaming my name, but the dead can't answer the living. Or can they? A sense of panic was growing in my chest. I was fine with Dad carrying me into the school in his hands by now if it saved me from watching the darkness rise up in the ravines like black dough. It felt like someone jumped into the bushes behind me, so I turned around. As soon as I started walking faster, I heard the snow squeak behind me. The wolves are back. Forrest took a deep breath, and with his giant lungs, the windfall cracked. The wind and the birds were left behind in the field. Now I could only hear the forest creak. I walked, listening closely, and the unseen presence grew stronger, as if someone was following me, trying to match the pace of my footsteps. I turned my head so fast, it made my neck crunch. The tiny trail behind me disappeared into darkness. Tree branches overlapped, forming a natural tunnel. Who's there? Expression escaped my lips and dissolved into the unending creaking sound of the wooden idols, the pines around me. Why did I think going through the forest alone was a good idea? I'm either going mad, or someone had intentionally lured me away from home. Distant lights granted me a smidgen of hope. Country road. I ran there as fast as I could, as if afraid that the trail will shrink. Clawed hands will grip me by the shoulders, turn me around, made me look at the faces of hungry forest denizens. In the end, nobody stopped me. I almost flew to the decrepit wooden bridge, disbelieving my luck. Bridge of support bathed in a spring, tarry and ice cold. I put my hands on my knees and looked up at the forest, then snorted, trying to calm my breathing. I think it was pretending to be asleep. It looked peaceful, lifeless. The remaining part of my commute led through a snow-laden road, illuminated by sparse lamplights. I chased away bad thoughts and ran as fast as I could, from one circle of light to another, seeking protection from electric lamps. Just like in that game, where you need to be the first to proclaim, "I'm protected." Never heard of it. It's just in this case that protection was flimsy at best, with darkness withering outside its bounds. Then I noticed something remarkably eerie. In a place where the light from an inclined lamp couldn't reach, a hairy, crooked shower came alive with a guttural roar. Is that a guy wearing one of those jackets that have like fur lining, or is that like a animal? I don't know, I can't really tell. It almost felt like its features deterred light. Its unnatural pose instilled fear. My eyes almost popped out of their sockets as I just stood there, blinking, trying to chase away that illusion. But the shadow didn't disappear, and even got closer. Insides were gripped by horror. I stepped back and almost fell into a snow pile. The black silhouette, on the other hand, strained up and addressed me in a sweet voice. "Sneaking around, huh? Trying to steal my soul?" Words got stuck in my throat. Who could be talking in such a silky voice here, between the forest and the dormant village? "Will you say something, dummy? A cat got your tongue? Alright, I'll bite off your nose then. That'll teach you not to poke it in places it doesn't belong." A girl stood before me, judging from the voice and the silhouette. I couldn't even reprimand myself for getting scared by a girl, for noticing a gaping mouth under her hood with something dangerously shiny inside. I was stunned. Hey, we got a furry. From the cavity of her hood, a frighteningly real fox face was staring straight at me. Just her jaws weren't moving and her eyes weren't blinking. A mask? It's just a girl with a fox mask on. At least I wanted to think that. After a surprise like that, a nervous smile involuntarily crept onto my face. I was just going to school, and then you... What about me? Never seen a fox feed a dog? And indeed, there was a small dog circling the girl's legs. One of the strays that were chasing me yesterday, probably. Sorry, I didn't mean to. After hearing my voice, the dog whimpered, lowered his ears, sniffed me, and then started wagging its tail. I guess I still smelled of bologna that I ate for breakfast. I was shifting my gaze back and forth from the dog to the girl. She didn't seem scary anymore, just weird. So you didn't mean to, huh? What's your name? Anton. And you? And I'm not? She's weird. Definitely a couple loose screws. But she has a nice voice. My astonishment has turned into a mix of happiness and relief. This girl I didn't know was definitely human, if a bit eccentric. I was also a bit angry at myself. This foxy girl was walking through the darkness without problem, and I shuddered from every little sound. I could just walk away. This girl had piqued my interest. Oh, cool, you can actually see the eyes blink in the back. Next time a police officer asks me about my friends at the new place, I'll tell them that I befriended a talking fox. You live around here? In the village? The fox giggled and purred. Yes, just wearing a mask. She spun around so hard, the hem of her coat lifted up. No, dummy. Foxes don't live in villages. You live in the forest, then. Have you been living under a rock? Obviously, it's obvious that foxes can't survive anywhere near humans. As long as they're foxes. Her jokes were also weird. Just like her carnival mask, paper mache with fur glued onto it. The dog reminded us of his existence with a loud bark. I unfastened my backpack. Dad would sometimes throw food in there without my knowledge. Cookies, apples, even my favorite crab sticks. He called it a gift from the bunny. The stray strolled toward me with mincing footsteps, with a pleading look in its eyes. The fox did definitely treat it to something, but it was probably still hungry. Why are you dressed like this so early in the morning? Going to a costume party? Girl shrugged, throwing silvery snowflakes off her nose, and her human form along with them, turning into a genuine beast. A real fox, agile, cunning, dangerous. A moment of hesitation, and he'll be ripped to shreds. He'll tear you up and gulp you down without breaking a sweat. I couldn't help but just stand there as a stump. Till I heard her calm, melodic laughter, hidden underneath the beastly mask. Blah, Mark, I'm having such a hard time talking. Mask. I wish you could have seen your own mask, sweetie. Did she say sweetie? I got embarrassed. Went red up to my hair roots. We'd seen a fox in a zoo once when we went there with Dad, but it had a patchy fur with gray and skinny. This girl was of fiery color and furry, just like in fairy tales. I was still rummaging through my backpack. My fingers, that were searching for the dog's treat, stumbled upon some soft, crumpled objects. You'll see. Their real beasts wake up soon. You should ask them where they got their human faces. The girl shadow was dancing in the lamp's light. Dog yapped in agreement. I freaked out and dropped my findings in the snow without getting a proper chance to examine it. Cold wind instantly covered the hole it created with snow. Dog rushed to dig it out, wanting to get his treat. The fox just snorted. Now I was so embarrassed, I wanted to sink through the snow. It was still dark outside of the electric circle. On the contrary, the darkness seemed even more thick. All neighboring houses were sleeping deeply in its inkiness. I did my best to continue the conversation with a weird girl I didn't know. So, are you going to school? Oh my, you are a real dummy. Don't you get it? Welp, I was trying to be friendly, but she can't stop mocking me. Calling me a dummy and all. I should have just moved along without paying any attention to this weirdo and her stupid dog. Why are you so mean? Yeah. You know, you could just end the conversation and just walk away, but yeah.
Не хочешь отвечать, пожалуйста.
Don't answer if you don't want to.
Никто не требует.
It's not like I care. Then why'd you ask? Still, something froze me in place, turning me toward the dark figure. A mysterious appearance, a voice that was velvety and just languid enough. I was intrigued and excited. I watched her as people watch fires burn.
Ой, да не дуйся.
Oh, stop pouting.
Гляди-ка,
Look here.
ты нравишься Жульке.
Zilka took a liking to you. Dog was digging through the snow with sharp movements, snoring loudly. The fox turned around and looked at the windows of a nearby house. At its timbered front through the white mist, the tip of her fake nose was shining under the lamp's light. You sure that's a fake nose?
И не только
Maybe
ей.
someone else too. I went red again, like a boiled crayfish this time. Is she talking about herself or someone else? I hoped that semi-dark would be able to hide my embarrassment from the girl. Cleared my throat before asking,
А кому еще я нравлюсь?
and who's that person? I waited, counting my heartbeat. The fox didn't reply. Her sly stare was scanning the frosty patterns of someone's windows. She was reading them like a glass book. I wonder what she can see in those winter paintings. The stray stopped rummaging through the snow. It ran to me, holding my object in her jaws. A mitten. Could be the one I found in the forest? What is it doing here? When I looked closer, I realized that it was just my mitten. Maybe Mom stuffed it in there when I was asleep. Yeah, sure, your mom did it. A certain missing boy immediately came to mind.
Эй, ты знаешь что-нибудь про Вову?
Hey, do you know anything about Vova? I imagine the scene, silhouettes dancing in the clearing. The dance on the night when Vova had disappeared. A boy, who when found, can provide a big reward and maybe save my family. I remembered my birthday, when our parents promised to take me and Olia to Disneyland in Paris. Instead of a long-anticipated gift, they gave me a simple brick game console, visibly embarrassed. I was crying my eyes out back then, demanding to take me to the promised amusement park. That was the first time when Mom and Dad had a big fight. My greediness shattered their relationship. Only I could fix everything. Gather everybody I love and take them to Disneyland.
В ночь, когда пропал Вова, я, кажется, видела...
On the night Vova had disappeared, I think I saw someone looking like you dancing under my window. It couldn't be true, but I felt like her mask became even more sly. The fox was sniffing me out.
А что?
Oh,
Тогда
that got you worried?
за себя.
For yourself or for someone else? Olia, as soon as I thought about my sister, my chest tightened, and cold sweat steamed down my spine.
Ну так слушай меня
Well then,
внимательно.
listen closely.
Мальчик по
A
имени
boy named
Антон.
Anton.
Это большой
This is a big and scary forest. The fox girl stepped forward menacingly,
И я не
and I'm not
единственная,
its only
кого,
tenant.
кстати, другие
The other
дети
bees already know
знают
about you.
нас. Берегись
Beware.
нас.
We'll come again tonight. I shouldn't have talked to this evil in child form, I thought, panicking.
Пока ты со своей
When you and your parents, who'll be fast asleep, will sneak really close and dance.
Макарена.
Macarena?
Чё?
Huh?
Эй, Макарена!
Yep. Look at you. Your mouth is agape. And Tosha.
Видел он меня ночью?
He saw me near his window at night. Yeah, right.
А ты случаем не
Are you, by any chance, a dimwit?
Меня
Nobody
не
would let me go
пускают
outside that late.
поздно. Здесь,
Children go missing here, you know. I touched the plastic frame of my glasses, puzzled by her silly joke. She got me scared to death.
Ой, да не тереби ты окуляры
Hey.
свои.
Why don't you stop fondling your glasses?
Я раньше тоже близорукой была.
I was also nearsighted once.
Лучше
Listen to me, and maybe you'll become
послушай
smarter.
лисичку.
Remember what they
А
do
почему
call
называют
foxes.
Плутовка?
Cunning? My words seemed to hurt her.
Ой,
Hey, what did you...
Ой, прости.
Sorry? Her laughter was akin to the jingle of a pair of silver bells.
Да шучу
Just
я.
pulling your leg.
Конечно,
Of course we're cunning. If you're agile and brave enough to befriend a cunning fox, I'll help you look for your Vova. There's a reason why you're doing it, right? I shrugged in reply. Her insight was alarming. I know why children have been swarming our forest recently. Sometimes you can find a lot of interesting stuff there. One day, I saw a huge pile of candy once, and I swam in it until my jaws cramped. Pile of candy? I couldn't deduce whether she believed in what she was saying from the tone of her voice. I showed her another smile, a fake one this time. Ooh, so wary. Well, what will you say to this then? She held out her hand in a furry mitten. There was an assortment of sweets in her palm. In the city where I used to live, sweets like these were sold at markets or in kiosks. I saw my favorite bubblegum in a vivid wrapper among the tasty treasure. Is it the Turbo? A familiar name was on it. Turbo. Huh, okay. Yeah, I thought it would be. A triangular fox face poked her nose towards me. Take some. Got some candy. My pockets are full of these. Yeah, it's just, I'll give you more in a van. Let's take. Why not? I accepted the treat and catching a whiff of the girl's smell. Fur, fireworks, and citrus. The smell of holidays. My fingers tingled while I was carefully unwrapping the gum. Peachy aroma entered my nostrils. And something else. Something unfamiliar but pleasant. The fruity cube ended up in my mouth. I started moving my molars, chewing the gum. It tasted like the usual Turkish gum, only my tongue went a bit numb. Uh-oh, we've been drugged. I couldn't believe my luck after opening the insert. I looked at the Mercedes-Benz, an extremely rare and hence desirable collector's item for any boy from my previous neighborhood. My heart skipped a beat. I was barely able to tear my eyes off the insert, still stunned. This is... Now do you see what can be found in the forest? Still, I wouldn't go there alone if I were you. You get so flustered over simple bubblegum after all. Imagine what would happen if you found a travel case worth of these. It'll surely blow your mind. Unusual treats. Just like everything else about her. Carefully hid the insert in my bag, as if I was putting a rare butterfly in a can. The fox giggled. This is not how things are supposed to go on a Monday morning. Ugh, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays. Who are you? I refrained from asking that question. She won't answer anyway. Or she'll just lie. I really want to see what's behind her mask. I was becoming more and more sure that underneath it wasn't just a simple young girl. Maybe Vova also found a snow pile with sweets and is now rolling in it. Actually, what if he decided to stay in the forest? It must be so cold without his second mitten then. The wind caught her words like smoke from a fire, carried them deep into the darkness, into the creepy thicket. Yeah, how does she know we have one of the kids' mittens? Trees behind me creaked with their bony branches. Or what if something happened to him along the way? Something terrible. The forest reacted to her words, becoming alive. It sniffed me out, peeking up its ears, just like a curious beast. Fox girl pierced me with her eyes again. Wild beasts? You find that scary? Well, I don't know. He doesn't know. Oh my. Have I befriended a dunce? I didn't like being called dunce, and being friends with her sounded nice. My grades are good. Really now. Will you come with me? Good grades, Anton. We'll find your Vova, and you'll be able to ask him what he found deep in the forest. As long as you're with me, nothing can hurt you in the forest. You'll see. Worms of worry withered in my belly. Yeah. Better run, whispered in my mind. I don't believe you. You take me for a liar? Whatever, you're just like everybody else. The girl sounded hurt, although I don't know if she was genuine about it. She turned around, as if she had immediately lost all interest in me. The gum felt bitter now. I remembered my dad's favorite saying, "Where are your manners, son?" Indeed, This fox was kind to me.
Не обижайся, пожалуйста.
Please, don't get mad.
Лисы бывают и
Foxes can
добрые.
also be nice,
Ну, как в
like in
сказке.
fairy tales.
Мне бы только понять,
I just
что
need to
ты
know
за
what kind of fox you are. The girl giggled, hiding the nose of her mask in her hands.
Тогда пойдем
Follow me into the forest, and you'll get to know me.
но не сейчас. А
But
когда
not right now. When it gets
Что
bright.
тебе, бедного,
I mean,
всего,
your
что
whole body is
поделать?
shaking, you poor thing.
Да выгляди
I don't want you to get a stroke.
Айда, провожу тебя
Hey,
до школы.
let me accompany you to school. After hearing this, the dog barked in agreement and stopped messing with the mitten. I leaned in, trying to grab the piece of handwear that almost ran away from me.
Ну, если тебе
Well,
по
if we're
пути,
going in the same direction. We went toward the school in the last dawn. Here and there, the lights came on the windows and the houses we passed, as if their inhabitants were sending us warning signs. Silhouettes lurked behind curtains. Dogs let out occasional barks. Spirals of gray smoke rose from chimneys. TVs bustled and dishes clanged in kitchens. We watched the village slowly rise from its slumber while carefully treading the snowy wheel trails. I walked in the left one, she took the right one. I walked in the left one and she took... Okay. The dog was following right behind us. I expected the fox to bring up something weird again, but she stayed silent all the way to school, as if playing with me some game only she was privy to. She would only giggle from time to time when the dog sneezed from the snowflakes that fell on its nose. I was the first to break the silence.
так как тебя зовут?
So what's your name?
А, ну,
Here it
конечно.
comes.
Имена, имена,
Names,
имена.
names, names.
Людям непременно
You people
надо
always
решить
need to put
первую
labels on
тему,
everything.
Ну и как бы ты назвал
What
такую
name would you
лису?
give to a fox like me?
Даже не знаю.
I don't know.
Но я читал про
But I've read
лису по
about
имени Алиса.
Elise the fox, or Elisa the fox.
А что?
You know what?
Я не
I don't mind.
против. Пусть будет
I'll
Алиса.
be Elisa. I couldn't understand if she was joking or not. I turned around as if looking for an answer from the dog, from the dark sky devoid of dawn. My silent questions were left unanswered. School's outline was in a I'm having a hard time freaking reading. The school's outline was already in our sight. Giant brick box stuck in the endless night. Lights in its windows didn't bode well for me. The warden trees were guarding the schoolyard. Screams, childish laughter, and someone whistling tore up the silence. I went here with Mom when we just moved, and the place looked cozy at the time. Empty corridors that smelled of polished, puffy snow outside. Second time I came alone to get the books, and just kept on imagining my peers rolling down the railings, grade schoolers running to the library, and teachers marching down the corridor with the air of self-importance around them. High schoolers were smoking at the entrance, in track pants and wool caps perched on their foreheads. Their appearance destroyed the last hopes of a cozy school. Their stingy eyes and teeth, yellow from nicotine, their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as the cloudy winter morning. Absorbed by my thoughts, I completely forgot about my companion.
После уроков жду тебя
I'll
на
wait for you at the
дворе.
backyard after school,
Возле
near the
повешенного.
hanged man.
Возле кого?
You know what? He just ignored my question. Of course.
Не опаздывай.
Don't be late. Oh, yay. Gonna go to the hanged man. I hesitated. Having hot and cold again. Mom always said that when I would have trouble choosing between two options. Thinking about Mom helped me reply.
После школы сразу
I'm going
домой.
straight home after school.
Эх, Антоша,
Well, Antosha,
это я
I'm going to let you off the hook.
Другие
But the others will creep you.
подкрадутся со своими
But the others will creep up to you with their smiles and sink their teeth into you. Won't be able to shake them off as easily.
Попомни, мать.
Remember my words. Fox opened her mouth with a wide yawn. Yeah, that looked real to me. What kind of trick is this? Someone running the distance called out my name. I instinctively turned around. A huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. It whimpered and ran toward the spring. Darkness devoured it. Fox Girl was also nowhere to be seen. She dissolved into frosty air. Or was she hiding in my shadow? I gulped and swallowed the gum. Unlucky. After taking a deep breath, I went towards the school, toward the cutlets and dough, towards the light raining down into the snow. Well, we can check things. There, we got a tree up here, a little nest. Whose nest is this, I wonder? A thieving magpie? And it probably has all sorts of shiny things in it. Pieces of colorful glass, bottle caps, polished coins, or child braces. Yes, child braces would be up there. That's perfectly normal. A tall man was standing near the gate, puffing out clouds of smoke into the wind. He didn't look like a teacher. Was he a PE guy? Maybe? I carefully studied his face that looked like it was cut from a piece of granite, and his hair lip that was holding down a cigarette. He was playing around with car keys and staring back at us. The light from the cigarette was reflected in his eyes that were sitting deep in his eye sockets. I froze in place. The hulking man lazily tore off his eyes from us and walked towards the road. What else can we check out here? Oh, got the beep. There was a fresh-looking Volga parked near outside. Ugh, why can I not read the words that are right in front of me? There was a fresh-looking Volga parked nearby, with one of its front wheels perched up on the icy curb. Black like Sooth, as if it was straight out of a horror story Dad loved to tell me when he hid in the attic during a thunderstorm. I remember him always wearing a sad smile while mentioning the black car that snatched children. He would say, "It looks like a funeral car on the outside, white curtains and all. And it has DSC in its license plate. Do you know what that means? Death to Soviet children." Funny, I was born in the USSR too. Beep. This buzzing crowd of upperclassmen with their winter hats tipped to the side. I better not draw their attention. I think that's everything that's out here. Yes, alright, let's go in. I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along with the windows, and it felt like a school was drifting in open space like a lonely lost spaceship. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Hey, there's Vova. He has a little kitty cat. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. I moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it glued to the left of the notice board. Oop, read. Vova, 10 years old, grade 4. He left his home on January the 5th around 1600 and never returned. Was last seen at the bridge over the child missing. Okay, he's doing what is the 4th grader. On that grainy print, Vova looked dead, with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? Plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window. Took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children, in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school toilets, child voices were hammering a nursery rhyme. For the fox and for the bear, bunny tasty meals prepare. I turned my head toward them, trying to get a better look at their features. Then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor, with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting on the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. Yeah, she seems like the teacher's pet type. She was also looking pompous, stopping along the way and whispering some secret in her friend's ear. She was probably a class rep, since she was carrying an attendance registry book.
Екатерина, возьми, пожалуйста.
Hey, Katrina, please, take this. The teacher opened the classroom door, and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, a tall redhead fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the inside of a pomegranate. Bad feeling risen up the hair on the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before. Unsettled eyes, cackling laughter. The girl, who was a smaller copy of the teacher, warned the boy with a wave of her hand and entering the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him. Move your legs, moron. The boy flew head first, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. Pastor burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cackling. Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all of the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. There's a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, withering like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away? Go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagine myself running through snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. And that's over. The river's trail blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort. I took a couple of deep breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed. The transfer student. I was told to come here. The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages.
А фамилия-то как?
Your last name?
Петров.
Petrov.
Громче говори.
Huh? What are you mumbling there?
Чего мямлишь?
Say it clearly.
Петров.
Нет такого.
You're not on the list. She measured me with a long and heavy stare, as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous beast.
Ты не ошибся?
Are you sure?
Нет такого в списке.
I don't have you in my register. Knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fist so hard, my knuckles become white. Man, this kid is so melodramatic about everything. Oh boy. They told me to come to classroom 204 to ask for Lilia Pavlovna, class 6C. Apparently, everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke, because they were all laughing.
Что за бардак?
What's wrong with this school? The classroom fell silent. The kids hid their smirks for a better occasion.
Понаберут студентов.
Why do we hire so many interns?
Только знают, что губяки свои.
They all know how to put lipstick all over their bulging lips. But when it comes to real problems, I have to solve everything.
А бумаги-то кто заполнять будет? Не
Why do they send you here without any proper paperwork? Ugh, we've had the same thing happen so many times already.
Подожди здесь.
Wait here,
Сейчас.
I'll be back.
Сейчас я им устрою.
After I have a little chat with them. Teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, dancing on it like laser sights. Once again, I imagined running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump. With the wind in my back as my only companion, the eyes of my future classmates were asking, this new boy, is he one of us or an outsider? Somebody whispered something, and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom.
Доску вытри.
Stifled. Ah! Wipe the board. It was easy to guess who was the main prankster here.
Эй, очкарик.
Hey, Four Eyes.
Ты чё, не только
Are
слепой,
you
но
not
ещё и
only blind,
глухой?
but also deaf?
Доску вытри, говорю.
I said, wipe the board. My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be.
Ну что мне с тобой делать-то?
And what should I do with you now?
Куда сажать, а?
Where will you sit?
Давай-ка сядь, наверное,
Oh, well.
с Семеном.
You can sit with Semyon. Semyon? I guess.
Он все равно один.
He's alone anyway.
Еще чего?
No way. Oh, I guess it's the, pomegranate kid. The fatso put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, scratched his belly and smirked.
Ты опять за старое?
Are you back to your old tricks?
Снова бабушку в
Did I call
школу
your
вызывать?
grandma here again? The classroom went silent.
А чё нам не сделать?
What's she gonna do?
Не она, так я
I'll
тебе
be the one to do
сделаю.
something if she doesn't.
Рюкзак убрал быстро.
Put away your backpack now. Simeon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something, to resolve this somehow, to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued a stifled voice that sounded nothing like me.
Я могу за последнюю парту сесть.
Can I sit in the last row?
Там, кажется, свободно.
I think there's a free seat. Teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Simeon, then back at me.
Ладно,
Fine,
садись
go
пока
there for
туда.
now.
А с тобой, бабурин,
And you,
мы еще
Bubian,
поговорим.
I'll have a talk with you later.
Чтобы подошел после
Come to
урока.
me after classes.
Будешь по классу дежурить,
You'll be on
ясно?
cleaning duty. Got it? Simeon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the tip of his nose, ripe for the taking. No, you don't want to take those. I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back, at the last table, where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats and the class was ready to start.
Вот и хорошо. Начнем
Now
урок.
this is settled. Let's start the class.
Тема. Традиции
Today's theme
русской
is
и мировой
traditions
литературы в
of
рассказе
Russian and
Зощенко
international
«Не
literature
надо врать».
and Zoshenko's Don't Lie. Professor turned back at me. His stare informed me of coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. Oh, damn. Got my eyes on you, said his watery look. Great. Making friends. Just after a couple of periods, I already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Ew. Then, at the cafeteria, this Simeon accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. Then he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Ew, nasty. Just before the final period for today, Simeon pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance and ended up ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before. Right in the chest. Giggity. Oh, so this isn't like some anime? I merely stepped back, dying from embarrassment.
Прости, ты в порядке?
I'm sorry, are you alright?
Я...
I... Then suddenly put her hands on her hips.
Нет, ну вы посмотрите.
Will you look
на
at
меня.
him? Oh, she's got the Karen stance.
Облапал меня прямо у
Go
всех
for me in
на
front of
глазах.
everyone.
Я сейчас
I'll
всё
tell my
маме
mom.
расскажу. Тебя из школы
They'll
выгонят,
expel you,
извращенец.
pervert. There was some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes, as if she was a child who was about to put a lit-up match to the what? Schaefer beetle.
Я нечаянно.
Don't know
Меня
what that is.
толкнули.
I didn't mean to. He pushed me.
Все видели.
We all saw that, you know. No blind among us. She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Simeon's laughter cooled my head.
Толкнули?
I pushed you? You sure? He straggled up to me, enveloped me in a smell of sunflower seeds, rotting teeth, then pushed me to the ground.
Вот так, да?
Like this, huh?
И чё
What you
ты
gonna do
сделаешь?
now? Bully towered over me, as if saying, come on, hit me. Let me see you try. Let's do... Well, I would smack him back.
Слушай, ты...
Listen, you. My throat went dry, my lips were moving on their own. My voice was akin to a stifled squeal. Simeon roared a mocking smile.
Давай, давай,
Go on,
продолжай.
Four Eyes.
Чё примолк-то?
Why do you stop?
Нам
We're all
всем
waiting.
так. Если ещё хоть
If you ever
раз
touch me
тронешь,
again... Simeon slowly stuck out a finger, poked my forehead.
натронул
Oh, he did it.
тебя.
He did it. What you gonna do now? I did. So what?
Ещё хоть
If
раз
you ever do it again,
тронул.
here.
А вот ещё.
One more.
И ещё.
And again.
И ещё.
And again.
И ещё.
And again. He was poking me with his finger so hard that my head tilted backwards. I must not cry. or I'll be done for.
Чё ты мне сделаешь,
What will a
мямля?
wimp like you do to me? My vision went blurry. My soles tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a random punch without looking. What I saw when I opened my eyes was beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Simeon was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. Was I the first person to rebel against his absolute rule?
Стопэ!
Лена!
I needed to run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies.
Лилия Павловна!
Ilya Pavlovnia.
Лилия Павловна! Петров!
Petrov just hit Bobyan. Simeon's cheeks grew redder, his pimples even whiter, like the heads of larvae. Ugh. But a smile flashed on his face. That was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me. The smell of rotten teeth washed over me. Breath mint.
Тебе
You
пиздец.
are fucking done. His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid of a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps in my heart and guessing where his fist will go. Solar plexus, the jaw, the nose. We just turned around and walked off. A thought, cold and sober and extremely rational, popped up in my head. I'm going to get killed today. Most likely so. I hope the Fox Girl can help us. I was late to leave the school after classes on purpose. Simeon didn't attend the last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home, forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief, like someone on death row whose execution was delayed by a day. But I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school, laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Simeon was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stayed for some more time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. All of the bustle moved to the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking out of the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on its head. The sound of running water coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone. A sudden thought came to mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board near the schedule. I remembered his smile. Whoa, that picture does not look like how it was before. Him looking at me. And the fact that he's mostly likely already dead.
Привет.
Hello? I shuddered and turned around. At first, my eyes stumbled upon the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. Now I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty. The spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Simeon's jokes. And she wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. She spent all the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom, or looking in the window, or drawing something in her green notebook.
Здравствуй.
Hello? I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor.
Круто ты ему
It was cool, the way you hit him. Yeah, it
врезал.
was.
Случайно.
Bam.
Почти.
It was also just an accident. Almost. I started shoving books in my backpack to at least put something in my hands.
Вроде Семён
Simeon
раньше
wasn't like
не
that
был.
before.
Он к нам недавно
He also
переехал.
transferred here just recently.
Бабушка мне его
His
посетила,
grandma told me
сказала, что он
that it
сломался
almost felt like he
нос.
went mad.
Семёна даже
Even the
старший
upperclassmen
классник
fear
забавился.
Simeon. Did you know?
Представляешь? А ты вот
But you're
молодец.
different.
Не струсил.
You're brave.
Угу.
I mumbled in reply. Yeah, right. Me. Brave. A hero that has been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating. The girl looked at me with clear, attentive eyes.
А ты за рекой
You
живешь?
live over the river?
В том деревянном
In that wooden
доме?
house?
Ну да.
Yeah.
Там, наверное,
Must be scary
страшно.
living there.
Да еще через лес идти.
And you also have to cross the forest.
Я бы так не
I wouldn't be able to
смогла.
do that. Shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought of intertwining branches of a snake-like trail of endless darkness that spread like mold among the crooked trees. So I straight up lied.
Да не так уж там и
It's not
страшно.
that scary.
А что тебя так пугает?
You know, except for the ravenous beasts that are out to kill me. What's so scary about it for you? She smiled after a brief pause, as if brushing off a daydream.
Да так.
Well, actually,
Ничего.
never mind.
Меня, кстати,
My name is
Полина зовут.
Paulina, by the way.
А меня Антон.
And I'm Anton.
Ну,
I already
это
know
я
that.
знаю. Слушай,
Hey, Anton.
Антон,
She stumbled, as if trying to decide whether she could continue.
а что ты делаешь
What are you
после
doing after
школы?
school? Began a butt whooping. My chest felt prickly after her innocent questions, yet somehow it felt pleasant.
Ничего такого.
Nothing much. I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. Ominous. Alyssa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Yeah, we were supposed to meet up with her, right? We probably shouldn't, abandon that. Pretty sure that'd be a bad idea. Her beautiful eyes and the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. What if that fox girl was waiting for me after school? Or was it another of her weird jokes? I wonder if she's hiding a big red tail under the coat. I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat, like after a PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking of the foxy girl made me dirty. Soiled my clothes, lured me into the forest embrace. Oh my god, what is happening in this? What? Furries, they'll turn anyone.
Сейчас занятие? Скрипка.
I have a violin lesson, and then I'll be free. I can't get over how that was worded on that last one. Okay. Forget about the foxy girl soiling clothes. Okay. Compose yourself. Okay. My grandpa hired me a private tutor. Okay.
Наш учитель музыки.
Our music teacher is a violinist, and he doesn't have anyone to teach her except for me. She waved her free hand in the air, imitating the movement of a bow on violin strings. Bow, I mean bow. I could almost hear the music. Chased Elisa out of my head. I looked at Paulina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. I felt like I was very small and the feelings were immense, and they couldn't fit inside me.
Тут говорят, что у нас в
They say there's a serial killer on the loose in the village.
Раньше со школы
Normally,
мы всегда
Grandpa
дедушку
would escort me
ждали,
home from
а в
school,
последнее время
but he's
ему
been
не
sick
нравится.
lately. I took a glance at Vova's photo. His eyewells were studying me. His lips were wearing black lipstick. Yeah, why does that picture look so evil now? It didn't look that bad the very first time we saw it. It's like the portrait on a gravestone.
Ты не подумай, я не трусишка.
I mean, I'm not a coward. It's just...
Просто мне кажется, что
I
с тобой
think I'll
будет
be safer
безопаснее.
together with you.
Антон,
Will you go home with me, Anton?
можешь проводить?
There it was. Finally, everything that I read about in adventure books, everything that I dreamed about was seeping into my life. Oh my god, it's like, I don't know, is it just me or am I like getting all these innuendos? Is it just me? Just the way that sounded. Will you come home with me? Then finally, everything that I read about. Yeah, adventure books. Yeah, tell yourself that. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duel. A duel. Thinking of Semyon instantly sobered me up, returning me back to Earth, and it started shaking under my feet like a deck of a ship. If only I could rise to the occasion in front of Paulina. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that. Him kicking me out won't even be able to be the worst. And him kicking me out won't even be able the worst of it. The worst part is that Paulina will see all of that. And she'll laugh at me like everyone else. No, I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state.
Сегодня вряд ли
I
получится.
doubt I'll be able to today.
Ты же знаешь, Семен, скорее
You know,
всего,
Simeon was
караул.
waiting for me outside.
Лучше мне с ним
I need to deal with him
разобраться лично, по-мужски.
deal with him one-on-one like a man. Nonsense.
Глупости какие.
Lena brushed off some of her hair off her forehead, and I sensed a weak aroma of blackberry. Lena was like water when you were thirsty. You gulp it down and still wanted more. I remember the summer evenings at the country house. The fire's pungent smoke, the berries hanging over our fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. Those few peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom, resting in the hammock, my dad, putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe in the crackle of the coals, and our parents' laughs, and the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was?
Думаешь, этот дикарь будет
Do you really
честно
think
драться?
that Savage will give you a fair fight?
Со
No.
своими дружками
He'll just
набросится
swarm you with his
всем
friends
скопом,
without giving you a
опомнится
chance to
как-нибудь.
catch a breath. Lena suddenly flashed a devious smile.
Но если мы пойдем
Well, if we
вместе, это
Go
их ошарашит.
together, they will be put off.
Я же не только первая скрипка на деревне.
I'm
Я
not
ведь
the
ещё и
only
девочка.
I'm not only the first violin in this village. I'm also a girl.
Слышала от знакомого
I've
хулигана, что он
I've heard from a
никогда не
delinquent.
нападает на
I
кого-то,
know that he'll
если
never
есть
attack
девушка.
someone when there's a girl around. Can you
Представляешь,
imagine?
у них кодекс
They have this
чести
weird
такой.
code of honor. A delinquent, you know? I thought, worried. Is he better than me? Taller? More handsome?
Ой,
Oh,
мне
I have to go to
надо
music class. I thought school was over. Made a couple of steps and stopped. Amazing. Lena didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. With the flickering light of the ceiling lamps, she looked much more alluring.
А ты играешь на чем-нибудь?
Can you play anything? My parents bought me a guitar a couple of years ago. I immediately remembered my meager attempts at making music. Change. We're all waiting for change. Joy's song echoed my thoughts and my desire to change something. That guitar got lost somewhere, as if refusing to move to the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more.
Увы, не играю.
I don't, sadly. A
Жалко.
pity.
Ну ладно.
Oh well,
Я
I'll be
побежала.
going.
Пока.
Bye. Her shout was captured by the loud echo. Shoes also echoed through the school's hallways.
Пока.
Bye. I wasn't sure if Polina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty. Just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody who looked like the hulking Simeon with his cronies. This was giving me hope. What should I do? Polina could become my friend. The first one in this new place. Besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. Even though my inner voice was hesitant, whispered about running away from the killers, looking in the woods at night. Polina was worth the risk. But the red-cutting fox was also intriguing. She promised me to help Vovova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will also guarantee peace in my family. Gifts for Alya. I imagine my sister, happy with those girls who get prizes from Supanev in the finest hour. She'll be dancing with the famous singers, maybe a new popular boy band like something international. Mom and Dad hugging at the Ostankino Pavilion. And then all of us going to Disneyland. Oh no, choices. Wait, we can look. We got something here on the floor. Turn me around and I'll tell you who's stupid. I bet something offensive is written on the other side. I don't know how long Simeon would keep turning it around if it fell into his hands. We got a hot bucket over here. An abandoned zinc bucket with a rag on the bottom of it, filled to the brim with murky tap water. The reek of salty chemicals and the stench was so intense that I felt sick. I staggered away from it, praying that I don't meet the same fate as the person on cleaning duty. What else we got here? We got... Alright, this bag. Somebody left their school shoes on the windowsill. Judging from their size, they belong to a boy my age. I don't know. They're both intriguing ways to go. I don't think we want Fox Girl to get angry. Can we say, oh, we can't save? Oh, no, no, no. Alright, here it is. We got a choice to make. Boom, boom. Because the last save I did was a little while back. So, go with the Fox Girl. I have to close my backpack. I ran down the stairs. I scanned my surroundings through the window at the main hall. Nobody suspicious in sight. School doors creaked. The sound was similar to the music from a thriller. A high note that comes before an intense scene. I ran around the school's corner, trying not to catch anyone's attention. The smell of pastry and burnt sugar wafted from the school cafeteria. I froze when I saw a silhouette in the second floor window. It must be Paulina, gliding a bow on her violin strings, with her head slightly tilted to the side. I wish I could hear the melody she played, but Paulina was only a dark outline on the window's yellow sheet. I dragged my feet forward. The net on the football goal in the yard fluttered in the wind. You know what? Let's give a save. Hey, who's that sketchy guy over there? The same wind that hurled small white whirlwinds through the field. Somewhere nearby, an invisible tractor was humming, scaring away the crowd of cawing birds. The hum of its engine sounded like the howls of hungry beasts that chased me through the snowy desert. Alyssa and her scary mask also came to mind. Right now, in the light of day, it was really hard to believe she was real. What did she say back then? At the backyard, near the hanged man? What does she mean by that? Oh, probably that game that's there on the wall? Oh, let's check out the squirrel. A forest squirrel, chomping on sunflower seeds. Someone from the school is probably feeding her. Interesting. Alright. We have a guy, and then the hangman. Sure, let's check the guy.
Извините.
Excuse me? Silhouette turned around the corner and walked deeper into the dead end, leaving cigarette smoke in its wake. It was an adult. A teacher, maybe? Well, no one there. Okay. Oh, wait. What's down here? A used syringe among the cigarette butts? I hope somebody just needed an insulin shot. Alright. Last thing. Hangman. I looked at the wall. There was a hangman drawn under the thin black line of resin. Somebody played the hangman here. Something was scribbled on both sides of the man. Escape. Fear. Truth. Come closer, sweetheart. Took me a while to realize where the sound was coming from. My eyes strolled through the cul-de-sac at the school backyard, through windows and snow. Alright, all we have is just the examine. One of the snow piles started trembling, like a volcano before it erupts. Give me your heart. In the blink of an eye, the right crested crumble of a fox jumped at me. She made a gracious bow, enjoying the effect of her appearance had on me. The silver of snow shined on her coat. I couldn't even imagine that thinking about girls with tails can be this. I don't know what to compare it to. Something infectious? Toxically sweet? Fight back or your heart is in my bag. She giggled so enthusiastically that it forced me to smile.
Да ну тебя.
Oh, come on. Quickly rolled a ball of snow and threw it at Alyssa. Tried to dodge, but it was too late. A hit to the shoulder. Oh, you insolent boy.
Да, вот такой я.
Yeah, that's me. Fox slowly backed down, trying to arm herself. You're a sly, but I'm a fox. I think out of the box. The retribution was swift. A snowball arched its way above the snowy yard, and the ravines, ravens flying in the air. I wanted to duck, but slipped and fell to my knees. While I was getting up, I got a huge chunk of snow in my face. It burned up from the cold. I swore loudly from immense disappointment,
Блядь!
using the words I heard in Sector Gaza's songs of the cassettes I hid from my parents. If Dad heard this, he would have definitely given me a good whooping. He had very low tolerance towards obscene words and always communicated in clear Russian.
Да ладно тебе.
Oh, come on.
Не больно же совсем.
Can't hurt that much. He brushed off my hood as if to show compassion, took me by the elbow, and helped me get up. With care and unenthusiastic for a child, she took off my glasses, blew away the snowflakes that were stuck to them, and handed them back.
Вот так.
Now we're even, Tosha.
Тоже.
Only people who are close to me call me that. And I haven't even seen her real face. Maybe we have. Didn't know her last name, what class she was from, and if she had a real tail under her coat.
Желаешь отыграться?
Want to get ahead?
Мы хотели поискать
We're
Вову,
going to look for
помнишь?
Vova, remember?
Лучше поторопиться.
We better hurry before my parents start looking for me. Fox out a lazy yawn.
Родители.
Parents.
Как скучно.
Don't be so boring.
Давай чуть-чуть
Let's play for a
поиграем.
bit. You're always bored at home
А
anyway.
ты откуда знаешь?
And how do you know that?
Тоже мне тайна.
Not even a secret.
Со взрослыми до
It's
4
always
стенах.
way too boring being locked up in a house full of adults.
У меня от стены взрослых
I get all
нет.
jittery from both houses and parents, see? Her furry fox brow started twitching. I faked a laugh and replied, unsure whether being able to move parts of the mask like that was genuinely funny or not.
Ну же, Тоша.
Come on, Tosha. Don't be scared.
Я же вижу.
I can see you want to play. And if you win... Fox girl got dangerously close to me and stood on her tiptoes, almost touching my face with her little nose. Playful fires danced deep in her eyes. She smelled nice, like berries in Sacharin. Is this a smell of independence and true freedom? I mean, the kind where all you have to do in life is run wild and eat sweets? Her whisper poured into my ear like scalding hot water.
Если победишь,
If you win,
будь
I'll be your
моей
guide.
Поверь, мне есть
Believe me,
что тебе
I have lots of things to show you. We'll surely find you a Vova. For one. It felt as if a giant invisible spring bent inside me. My tummy hurt, but the sensation was somehow not exactly unpleasant. It was so weird. I just had a conversation with Paulina, and now Alyssa was going to drag me along with her. I felt like my mind was becoming blurry, splitting in two, like those gravestones on the TV record.
А если
And
проиграю?
what if I lose?
душу из тебя
I'll clout your
высосу,
soul,
нежно.
softy.
Давай,
Come on,
скорей.
let's go. Let's see if another save. Yoop. She burst out laughing, ripped the hem of her coat, and ran toward the road we used to come to school in the morning. Her promise. That sounded almost like a threat. Hypnotized me. Ah, someone likes a little bit of Sato. I bent down and scooped up some snow. Wish I had a device that could tell whether Alyssa was joking or being serious. Or is there always a third option with people like her? Between her jokes, her laughter, and her hot breath on my ear, I wanted to win. Punish her for the lightness and freedom she possessed that was clearly too much for an average girl. When I, on the other hand, was possessed, or rather intoxicated, by the thirst for adventure by my curiosity. Just like that time when I ate the cherries from Mom's, and lied down with my eyes closed while the bed was spinning underneath me. I spat and cleaned my lips. You want to play, little sister fox? Well then, let's play. I armed myself with a snowball and chased the fleeing fox girl. I saw a familiar street with a wooden post that didn't look scary anymore. They were just logs covered in snow. If I were to shout now, the guard dogs would start barking and their owners would peek out from their windows. Alyssa's small silhouette was mocking me from far away, so it was useless to try hitting her with a snowball for now. Waste of ammunition. Birches, mutilated by the cold, peeked out to view along the clear road. A giant snow pile toward near one of the trees. This was probably the place where the tractor brought all the snow from the village. A whole family of foxes would fit in such a pile. No, I thought. She's the only fox around here. She's alone and is already too much. My second morning acquaintance was running around near the edge of the forest. The stray dog with a mangy tail. She sniffed around and marked the naked berry bush and ran towards the other ones. Elisa showed up from under the hill.
Жулька! За мной, девочка!
Follow me, girl. Dog's ears perked up. It barked in agreement and followed her lead. We ran farther and farther, exchanging snowballs, laughing and stumbling. The winter forest towered in front of us, reaching for the low clouds. We were at the edge of its shadow, bony, and almost. Fox hid behind a huge pine, clearly trying to get close to me and shove some snow down my collar. It was a good plan, but Zulka, who was running circles around her, gave her away. I broke off a dry branch and decided to act even trickier. Ugh. I put my hat on it and peeked it from the side of the pine. I'll make her think that it's my head. I bit my lip to stop myself from laughing. I jumped out from the other side and performed a point-blank throw. Elisa probably cracked my plan right away, but still let me win 3-1. I was wounded in the leg and she got shot in the chest and in the stomach, losing imaginary blood in front of my eyes. Pleading for mercy while also choking from laughter. Please, mercy. I'm dying. Okay, I'll let you live. Thank you, O valiant knight. She tended to bow to me and grabbed 2 full handfuls of snow and, like a dying warrior, threw them my way in a last-ditch effort. I dodged her attack easily, laughing uncontrollably and being mad at the same time. I finished her with 2 precise shots.
Живи!
You'll let me live. Huh.
Научил бы меня жить, раз умный.
Learn me how to do it, if you're so smart.
Молчи, ты умерла
Shut up,
уже.
you're already dead.
Тоже мне помеха.
Ah, when did that stop me?
Давай сыграем.
Let's play something more interesting. She dashed behind the trees after blowing snow in my direction.
Раз, два,
1, 2, time to play with you.
3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5, the owls will arrive. I hesitantly moved towards the windfall. 6 on end, the wolf's gray fur will stand. I thought I was a real tail gliding across the bushes. I rushed to the intertwined branches that helped Elisa to hide as if something was pulling me there. I had to move them, tear them off like spiderweb. Branches sprang back in my face, but I felt like they were caressing my cheek and not hitting them. I was sweating, but still had a lot of stamina left. I'll make sure to catch you, little fox. Elisa's voice was wandering among the windfall. 7, 8, stomp your hooves and wait. Seems like I underestimated you. I thought you were just a boy. Confident that she was behind the dry pine, I rushed to intercept her. But the local acoustic tricked me. Her voice was already echoing from the other side. And you're a bunny. So nimble, so cute. Snowball flew right at me from the shadows, whistling near my ear.
Я тебе дам, зайчик.
I'll show you a bunny.
Дай мне зайчика,
Yeah,
дай.
do that. Show me. A bright fox fur coat flashed near a rotten stump. I rushed there, jumping over a ravine.
Зайчик, выходи скорей.
Bunny, show yourself. Be brave. Give the beasts fresh meat they crave. This furry collar that flashed from every tree was the most important thing in the world for me. My lips started trembling, as if I was a cowboy that was chasing his prey. One jump and the fox was in my embrace, so smooth and desirable.
Ой, всё,
Fine, you win. She leaned against the scratchy bark and started puffing.
пожалуйста,
Please,
давай немного
let's have a
опять.
break.
Ты слишком
You're too fast, too strong, too tasty.
сильный.
Satisfied, I put my hands on my side, waiting for the spoils of war from the defeated girl. But what I got instead was a sly snowball in my smug face. Serves you right. The cunning fox ran away, roaring with laughter, but I wasn't even mad about it. Need to catch up to Elisa. Tackle and subdue her. Tear off her mask and see everything. It's not a mask.
Бедный зайчик.
Poor little bunny
прыгает
jumps around
возле мокрых
in the wet
сосен.
pine forest, afraid of getting eaten by the big gray wolf.
Думает о
Thinking of hot
лете,
summer, keeping his ears low,
на небо
seeking glances at the hidden sky. The sky really did disappear under the trees. I moved using the barking of Zolka as a guide, since she was closely following her owner. And I was getting closer. The same trail I imagined back at school blinked under my feet. Turned out that running like there's no tomorrow was so easy. Faster, higher, faster. I felt like there was a well of untapped potential inside me, and I drew from it. Alright there, Gohan. My muscles were buzzing, my legs felt bigger, and I felt much stronger overall. Even my vision became sharper. I saw every branch, every dent in the bark. Something colorful was laying near the bushes, a piece of clothing. Another colorful spot to the right. Elisa was losing her clothes on the run, like shedding her skin. I also used my teeth to take off my mittens, excited by all that. I bet you would be, you furry lover. I'll get naked and feel all the wind to the last drop. What the? Faster. I reached out to take my hat, to throw away everything that stopped me from running wild in this endless forest. My backpack slowed me down, so I threw it in the snow, along with the pens that were inside, with all the notebooks, all of my drawings on the sidelines, and a dinosaur for Olia. Olia. Suddenly, a clear picture appeared in my mind. My sister standing still near a window, basking in the dusking sun. Her small childish palms are pressed to the glass, leaving marks when they warmed it up. She could warm up the whole world like that. Looking at the Taiga and saying my name.
Тоша.
Tosha. I stopped, took a deep breath and realized how rash and stupid I was, trying to undress in the middle of a forest while chasing a fox. I returned to get my backpack, as if it was part of my being I dropped. I remembered again how my sister didn't like to be left home alone, how she asked me to come home faster. What kind of brother am I? Running in the forest that I used to scare my sister with? I'm having fun while she's not even allowed over the doorstep. Sit in your cage, Olia, and watch the same cartoons over and over.
Тоша.
Tosha.
Да, Оленька.
Yes, Olia?
Тоша, а куда?
Tosha, where are you?
Куда так скачешь, чмошник?
Where are you hopping to, fucker? Oh, because it's him. From the darkness beyond the pines, just like cavemen from their cave, appeared smirking Simeon with a bunch of his cronies.
Ну, здорово,
Yeah.
Антошка.
And Toshka. Yeah, now you could slip away, huh?
Да.
Очкарик в зубе сарик на.
Check out this four eyes freak, huh? Oh, the other one missing 2 teeth. It surrounded me like carnivorous pride, making me step back. The smell of sweat and tobacco attacked my nostrils. The inside of my mouth felt salty, as if I'd licked a battery.
Алиса.
Elisa. The name of my companion turned into a stifled cough. Pines were swaying back and forth like solemn guardians. I was frantically looking everywhere. I dreamt of finding that fox among the trees, expecting her to come to my rescue. Only the wind replied to my pleas.
Где Алиса?
Where's Elisa?
Что вы с ней сделали?
What did you do to her? I shuddered after hearing my own voice. It sounded unnatural, rough, and scary.
Какая еще
Who the
Алиса?
fuck's Elisa?
У тебя чё, кукуха
Did you hit your
поехала?
head?
Не ссы,
Whatever,
щас
we'll fix
мы
you right
вылечим.
Fatso spit through the gap in his teeth and pushed me so hard that I hit my back against a tree.
Ну как,
So,
полегчало?
feeling better now? It can't be. Did Alyssa really lure me into this trap? To these bastards? No, I can't believe this.
Глядите-ка, пацаны.
Look at here, guys. He's not so brave here compared to the school.
Ага, вылитый
A total wimp, huh?
Ты, сука,
You fucked with the
приезжий.
wrong
Ни
guy,
на кого
transfer
руку
student.
поднял.
Oh, reminds me of this movie. With that ring he's wearing. Not Uncle Buck. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It had, Al Bundy in it. Or him at the end of the movie punching the stepdad or something with a ring, leaving an imprint on his head. He was moving towards me, readying his fist. that moment, the other delinquent in track pants made a loud whistle, and the hulking boy lowered his hand. It was unexpected. Seems like Bobian wasn't the leader of this gang. In reality, they were all listening to the boy who was looking like a small carnivore with a strong and sharp teeth. Probably decided to have some fun at my expense first.
Слышь, Гондон
Hey,
Батькович,
Faggot Jr.
это что ли твоя
Is this your Alyssa?
Алиса?
Only then I noticed Zulka beside my legs, trembling from the cold, snow plastered all over its fur. The delinquent squatted in front of the dog and beckoned it with his hand.
Ой ты, батюшки.
Oh my.
Алиса,
Alyssa, come
ко
here, you
мне,
flea-ridden
сучка
bitch.
бла-
The others let out nasty laughs. The dog's ears perked up when she started carefully moving closer.
Иди сюда.
Yeah, come here.
Иди,
I've got
дам
something for you.
кое-чего.
Oh, that's not nice. Poor doggo. The dog didn't even have a chance to sniff him when this animal abuser caught it by the ear and kicked it right under the tail so hard it flew into the nearest snow pile, squealing. Well, they all need some comeuppance. The whole gang burst out laughing. My heart got encrusted in ice. Even the birds that were perched up in the trees let out a frightened caws. At the edge of my vision, I saw something flash in the illusory twilight of the sleeping forest. Or were that just bushes moving their icy branches in the wind? Romka,
наш больше
you won't be
срать
able to
не
shit
может.
after this.
Давай
Let me kick the
теперь я.
fucking thing one more time.
Второй раз.
2 negatives will make a positive.
Минус на минус.
But the stray was already nowhere to be seen.
Чего ты, баран?
What? Are you an idiot?
Втолкуй его на
Go and show your
очкарика, где его
4
место.
eyes his place.
Только так, чтобы
In a
он
way he'll
понял.
understand.
Ага.
Yeah,
Дай им
he
козявка.
fucking owes you.
Этот очкарик
This went
пришел
whacked it in
классный
front of the
щёлк.
whole class.
Да без Б.
Sure thing. Jimian brought a sizable signet ring with some geometric shape carved in it up to my face.
Ща,
In a moment,
помощник,
I'll hit your
я тебе
faggot face so hard,
перчаткой
it'll leave a
подцарапаю.
mark for the rest of your
Дерьмо на
life.
всю жизнь.
Where'd all of your inner strength and bravery go?
Стой!
Stop. A rizzy whisper left my lips, and my head tilted forward, hitting Simeon's fist. Red sparks flew from my eyes.
Бяша!
Basha,
подсоби.
give me a hand. Simeon gave me a rough push towards the bastard with his slanted eyes, and he tripped me. I fell on a sharp crust of ice, and a fasto stepped on my hand, preventing my from getting up. A painful groan escaped my throat.
Слыхали,
Did you hear him
пацаны?
whimper?
А ты случаем
Is he
не
actually a
пил?
faggot or something? I started to lose breath from anger and resentment. Pain was growing. My ear was hot and pulsating pain was shooting through it, like it was cut off and a ball of nettle was sewn in its place.
Чё молчишь,
Why so
Антошка?
silent, Antoska?
Отвечай,
Come on,
Педик.
tell us. Are you a faggot? I really don't know why they keep throwing this word in the game. This moment, I felt pure, unbridled rage, the amalgamation of my anger. Like the sprout's ink, it rose up from the depths of my mind, filling all my thoughts.
Твари!
Morons.
Знаете,
Did you know
мой
that my
отец
dad
Кто-то педик.
is also a fag? Jimmy burst out laughing. This became the last straw. Fear and anger were grappling inside me like mad
он
dogs.
айкидо занимался.
He knows Aikido,
Поняли?
got
Он
it,
еще воевал.
and he is a vet.
Таких, как вы,
He'll kill the
закрытыми
likes of you with his
глазами
eyes
убивает.
closed.
Я только слово
One
скажу,
word from
он-
me, and he'll... Romka lifted his arm, stopping my torrent of lies, made a couple of steps forward. Simeon slowly backed off, giving me an opportunity to stand up. Did he believe me? Or was he confused by my face, twisted with rage?
Воевал, говоришь?
A vet, you say?
Мой батя тоже
My dad
был
also fought in the war,
в Афгане.
in Afghan.
А твой?
And yours?
И мой.
Mine too.
Да, и в
Oh,
каких
really?
войсках,
And
интересно?
what force did he serve in? I stumbled. Fear chopped at my rage's throat and made it bleed.
Да он
He's full of shit,
футболит,
Ромка.
Ромка. Бля, будуна.
Sure as fuck, eh?
Думал, меня так
You
просто
think I'm so
развести?
easy to trick?
Я тебя,
I can see
сучонка,
through your lies,
насквозь
little bitch.
вижу.
There was a nasty smile on his face now. This didn't bode well for me.
Ты сам
Well,
себе
you've asked for this.
приговор-то.
Школе
Teacher
тебя
saved you at school,
ручонка спасла.
but here,
Ноль. Хана
you're
тебе.
fucked.
Во-во.
That's right.
Давай, Антон.
Pray that they find your
Молись,
dead
чтобы
body
твой
come
труп по
spring,
весне
eh?
нашли, бля.
Сидел бы ниже
If only you
травы
stayed
голубой
silent.
сорочкой.
Wouldn't have lost a hair.
Жирного стукнуло
Hitting
одно
fatso is
дело.
one thing.
Сёма,
Give him a good
Ушаталка,
pounding, Somya. The delinquents closed in on me again, and I ended up in front of Simeon. Blood was pumping in my temples. Branches were swaying back and forth, as if whispering something, giving me hope. I gritted my teeth, fighting the thought that I looked silly, and took a boxing stance I often saw in the movies.
Хера ты, Майк Тайсон.
What are you, fucking Mike Tyson? This was my first ever fight. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. If I don't get kicked the bucket, of course. The edge of my vision, I noticed the darkness writher again, as if someone was walking back and forth there. I sensed Roma's claws grab my backpack.
Манатки,
Give
Антошка.
me a shot, Antoska.
Махаться мешает.
It'll get in the way. I was about to refuse, unwilling to cooperate with the bastard. Then he fished a butterfly knife out of his pocket with one smooth motion, spun it as if showing off, and put the blade to my neck.
Слышь, Фрей,
Let out a
расслабься,
cloud of
а то
steam
больно
instead
будет.
of words. Romka pulled with all his might, and my backpack ended up in his hands, calm and relaxed. An insidious smile on his face, he looked into my backpack.
Ты от нас
Are
что-то
you hiding something
скрываешь,
from
да?
us? Some rat
Мне
stole
что,
my
это
school
какой-то
shoes.
Христос?
And what's
Опа!
this? Romka gave me a dubious smile. Well, I don't see any shoes.
Так, а что
What do we
это
have
у
here?
нас здесь?
Nothing of yours. My textbook and notebook fell in the snow. He was holding my backpack in one hand, something weird in the other. It looked like a mask. Roma lifted it high, as if showing to someone else, to someone in the treetops, in the twilight among the trees. An old bunny mask. Long, worn-out ears, barely visible nose, and whiskers. Mangy fur on the sides. Where did it come from? Who put it there? Semyon laughed.
Новый год уже
It's
прошел.
way
ну
past
чё?
New Year's, moron.
Или ты
Or are
реально
you really a loony?
поехавший? Это не мое.
It's not mine.
Да как не твое,
How come it's not?
Твоё
It was in your
портфеле
backpack.
лежало на-
Romka was watching the scene unfold with an evil smile on his face.
А знаешь что?
You know what?
Надевай.
Put it on.
Зачем?
Why?
Надевай,
'Cause I'm
говорю.
telling you to.
Попрыгаешь перед нами.
You'll hop like a bunny for us.
Давай, давай.
Yeah, come on.
Или без штанов
Or we'll leave
домой
you
пойдём.
pantless, eh? Anything but this. What if someone from our class will pass by?
Надену.
I won't.
Сёма, надень
Сёма.
на него.
Put it on him.
Хе.
Ryusha rushed to his friend's side and took the worn-out mask from him with a buffoonish bow. Ugh. He then passed it to Semyon, who was already rubbing his hands in anticipation. I looked around the pine woods, as if waiting for help, as if the shadows that withered around us would take pity on me and take my side. Branches looked like arms, twisted at unusual angles. Blackened bark was their charred skin, and the darkness was the smoke they produced. I can't run. Won't get away. They'll catch me. Then,
Только учти, Сёма,
let me warn you, Sayoma.
если он скакать не
If he
станет,
won't
ты
hop,
сам за него
You'll
поскачешь.
take his place. Got it?
Этот чмошник
This
и не
piece of shit
станет.
won't?
Да погляди на
Look
него,
at
он
him.
же
He's a
дурень
total loony.
конченый.
Этот дурик тебе
This
уже
loony
раз
had already
шпагой
smacked you in the
зарядил.
face.
Ромка прав.
Romka's right.
Давай,
Come on, Fatso. Assert
Вот
your
ты
fucking
нам
dominance.
авторитет.
Или сам у нас
It will make you
запрыгаешь,
hop
так
so
что
hard your pig tits will
тетя
fall off.
рассыпется.
He must indeed be scared of Romka. Semyon swore slightly and glared at me.
Вот,
Here.
это чтобы маска
He'll fit better this
хорошо
way.
налезла.
You. No, I wouldn't put that on. Kick him in the junk. He hurled a huge ball of spit on the inside of the plastic bunny face and put it close to mine. His spit looked like a scross spider. Romka's face twisted. He spasmed like a beast, like he wanted to tell Simeon something. Then he suddenly stopped. Simeon was close by, with a disgusted smirk on his face and a terrible smell coming from his mouth.
Надевай,
Put it on, fast,
Оттуда.
or you're dead. The mask almost looked even more disgusting now, yet, despite everything, I felt like it was a chance for salvation. It could become my second skin, if only I was to put it on. If only my face was to touch its bumpy surface. I'm sure the fur will glitter, the ears will tremble like they were alive. Just need to put it on, and Simeon and his friends will be gone. Forever. I don't don't know. I really don't want to put a mask on if it has a spit. Time to fuck off. For some reason, Romka's disappointment with Semyon made me feel brave. Something was wrong in their crew. Some old disagreement. I should cut this old wound open. I need to get into the tree, get into their heads, right into their skulls, their warm brains.
Знаешь что, Семен?
You know what, Semyon? My own voice, smooth and determined, was a huge surprise. I stepped forward and calmly proclaimed,
Иди нахуй.
"Fuck off." It's like the whole world was paused for a second, then unpaused right away. Semyon's pupils widened. The mask fell out of his meaty hands. It took a while to process my words, looking stunned, as if he was trying to solve a difficult math problem. But the answer he got made him mad, judging by the bulging veins in his forehead.
Ага.
The others just observed the scene silently, waiting for the inevitable payback. I can't say it. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I just can't say that word now. Oh, okay.
Ты,
You,
ты труп.
you're dead. His voice tore off icy crust from the nearby branches. It rained down with a oh my god, melodic laugh. Oh, why I have such a hard time talking? I'm so tired. And then I heard whispers from the treetops, from holes in the ground, from animal lairs, as if Elisa was the one in this. As if Elisa was in one of the snow piles, like a prompter in like a prompter in his booth, trying to get through to me. With no sign of fear, rather, with a tinge of playful rage, that's how this low hum sounded to me. I stared into the clearing between the trees. Orange spot flashed there. A fox, an absolutely regular fox, stepped out of the bushes. I blinked in bewilderment. The animal fell on its tummy and was staring back at me with its burning eyes. Its furry tail was sweeping snow left and right, raising the right powder.
На меня смотри, падла.
Look at me, bitch. I was still looking past him, at the fox that was smiling at me. She grinned with all her teeth while digging her hole in the snow, moving her paws as if dancing. Her sharp face was covered in snow, her whiskers were trembling. Fox put her face to the ground. Shining platters of her eyes filled with the liquid silver. I returned my gaze to Simeon's twisted face. He was growling something unintelligible. The fox backpedaled and disappeared into the darkness, and the forest breathed at me, whispering, "Tell the pig to shut up." I slapped my own cheek to chase away the unfamiliar voice, but the message still lingered in my subconscious. The hint was my chance. I stared intensely at Simeon's nose. He was almost winking from anger. I directed my words at him.
Заткнись,
"Shut up,
свинья.
pig." Simeon looked paralyzed, as if the medium Alan Chumak hypnotized him, stripping him of his will. I felt the aftertaste of Alyssa's gum in my mouth. Berries. Felt like I pulled a card from some greasy deck and it turned out to be a trump. My brain was at its limit. Lena's words about Semyon getting worse since he moved here flashed in front of my eyes, like subtitles in a movie. All the pieces fell in place. My joker went flying into his pimply face. I was speaking slow on purpose, tracking out every syllable.
Есть у меня
I
подозрение.
suspect
Ты не просто
that
так
you had a
перевелся
reason
в
to
новую
transfer
школу.
to another school.
Сбежал, да?
You fled, right?
Как крыса сбежал.
Fled like a rat.
Потому что сверстники бывают
Because kids can be
жестокими
cruel
с теми, кто не
with
такой,
those
как
who are
они.
different,
С теми,
who's
кто толще
fatter
их,
or
например,
weaker than them.
слабее. И ты решил издеваться
So you
над
decided to
другими,
bully
как
others,
издевались над
just
тобой.
like they bullied you. I saw Semyon's Adam apple twitch, like it was a pump action rifle getting reloaded.
Ты отыгрываешься за
You're trying to
старые
get
обиды.
payback for the old wounds.
Хочешь казаться
You want to
тем, кем
pretend
не
that you're
являешься.
different now.
Но знаешь,
But you know
ничего
what?
не меняется
Nothing
в щелчку
changes at the
пальца.
snap of a finger.
Знаешь, кем ты
Should I
был?
tell you who you were? The Force held his breath, listening in fascination.
Знаешь, кто ты
Should I
есть?
tell you who you still are? Good guys?
Пацаны, еще как...
Vasha was about to come to his friend's aid, but Wamka stopped him, whipping out his controlling look. Vasha turned around and put his hands in his pockets.
Продолжай, Тоха.
Go on, Toha. Ramka's words ricocheted from the rough trunks.
Знаешь, кем ты будешь всегда?
Should I tell you who you will always be? Semyon looked around helplessly.
Второе имя, настоящее
Your
имя,
second
которое
name,
дали
the
тебе
true name that your
одноклассники.
classmates gave you. Why do you... Ramka and Bayusha looked at Semyon like he was their prey now. And I even thought I saw them lick their parched lips. The wind was full of anticipation, dragging my scattered textbooks across the road.
Свинья!
A pig. My thunderous scream echoed through the forest. Trees and ravines enjoyed it. The echo repeated it over and over, doubling, even tripling it. Ramka grinned with all his teeth. Simeon's hands fell to his sides. He was on the brink of crying. I used this to my advantage. Bam! I threw the strongest punch I could muster. It was much stronger than the one in school. I ran my fist into his scarred face and it produced a cracking sound. Simply cheek danced like jelly under my fist. Ooh, all those pimples must have popped all over your hand. Ugh. Jimmy let out a sigh and plopped on the icy road. He was touching the place where I hit him, still oblivious to what just happened, and how did it come to this? After looking at him for a while, I realized I was smiling. Katsu returned to his senses and threw himself at me, his face twisted with anger. But I dodged his charge quite easily after the great practice I had playing with Alyssa. That animal turd fell in the snow and landed right in front of a pile of dog feces. This made him squeal in agony.
Ай, красава,
Attaboy,
Тоха.
Toa.
Думал, ты сосунок,
I thought you
а
were
вон
a
как
wimp,
жердяю
but
делал.
you've given the fatso a good whooping. Semyon started sobbing after he realized the direness of his situation. Fuck! What will I say to Grandma? She'll kill me when she sees this.
Чего ты там
What are you
скулишь?
whining about?
Тебя с парашей не
Get your head out
слышно.
of your ass. Simeon's futile attempts at cleaning his coat caused a fit of giddiness from Bayosha. I also smiled, angrily twisted my lips. Lucky fucker.
А ну вставай,
Hey,
скачи,
get up and hop like a
зайчик.
bunny.
Только желательно
Just stay away from
подальше,
us,
а
you
то от
stink
тебя
of
уже
shit.
дерьмом не Фу!
You. Oink. Fuck you guys. His eyes, red from tears, stopped on me. Still at it, huh? Didn't even have time to erase the smile from my face when Semyon lunged at me like a hawk, clawed at my face with his twisted fingers and gnawed fingernails. I threw a kick toward the layer of fat under the coat. Same moment, the world became fuzzy. The black trees and the faces of my classmates all blurred.
А чё на это скажешь, сука?
How do you like that, bitch? Threw up a hand holding my glasses, victoriously. But his triumph was short-lived. Two blurry silhouettes rushed forward. They're almost former friends. I heard the familiar sound of someone being slapped around. This is against the rules, asswipe.
А ну гони, линзы
Give back the
назад!
oculars, now.
Дерись по понятиям.
Fight like a fucking man, eh? Judging from Simeon's sighing and grumbling, he didn't agree to his friend's terms. What the fuck? Ouch! Ow! Betraying me for this piece of shit. Ow, ow, ow. Fuck you. Are we even friends anymore? Oink. A huge figure trembled in the snow, barely managed to break out from the rain of punches, and ran for the hills, dissolving into the twilight.
Завтра в школе тебя
We'll get you at school
выцепим,
tomorrow,
Хрюндель.
Porky.
Точно,
That's
точно.
right.
За базар ответишь,
I'll answer for
да.
this, eh?
Горло тебе
Cut your throat, you hear me? Ramka and Bayusha started throwing pieces of ice at the fleeing Semyon, but then switched to hurling mockery.
Свинья!
Porky! Snow rustled. Two boys, clearly out of breath, approached me. I was finally able to make out their faces clearly.
Мои очки.
Glasses.
Блять.
Romka cursed under his breath.
Гондон этот
Fucker
стащил.
got them.
Зато мы
At
ему
least we whipped his
всыпали
ass
одну
real good,
сына.
huh?
Завтра вот
He'll come to school with a
таким
shiner
куском
this
припрется
big.
от века.
Yusha let out a throaty laugh. Hyenas in The Lion King would envy a laugh like that.
Ну и дела.
Oh boy.
Тоха,
Can you see
ты
without your
за шкафом
glasses,
что-то
Toa?
видишь?
Немного.
A little bit. Hand, holding a red rectangle, protruded from the mist. Romka was offering me a cigarette,
Угощайся.
my treat. I squinted, trying to make out the brand, even though I didn't know anything about cigarettes. I haven't tried to smoke yet, and I didn't really want to start. I wonder if they keep hanging out with me I wonder if they'll keep hanging out with me if I won't adopt all of their habits. After a moment of hesitation, I shook my head.
Спортсменство.
Into sports, huh? Huh.
А ты в глаза
Are you blind or
долбишь?
something?
Не видел, как
You
он
see how
Симона
he
чё-то
thrashed
смазал?
Simeon?
Базарит
Real
он,
deal. Mortal
Mortal
fucking Kombat.
Плохо у нас Рокки
Toa,
Бальбоа.
here's Rocky Balboa.
Тогда уж Иван Драго.
More like Ivan Drago.
Курим одну на двоих, гони
We'll
же.
split this one. Give me a light. Romka pulled a cigarette out with his. Can't fucking read it. Say anything that I'm looking at. Romka pulled out a cigarette with his lips, and Bayusha scrambled to find a lighter inside his pockets.
Тоха,
So,
что
Toha,
я сказать хотел?
back to what I was saying. Don't be mad, bro.
Мы тебя на вшивость проверяли.
We were just testing you. I mean, your glasses and this mask. Bayusha lit a giant. I don't know that. And Romka smacked his lips, taking a long puff of his cigarette.
Меня, кстати,
I'm
Рома
Romka,
зовут.
by the way. He squeezed my hand so hard that my fingers hurt. His palms, full of dry, torn blisters, implied that he wasn't wearing a tracksuit for nothing.
Это вот Бяша.
This is Bayusha.
Ты не очкуй.
Don't worry. We'll have a talk with Porky. He let out a cloud of smoke in my face, which instantly made me cough.
Ага.
Yeah,
Пойду пока сумку соберу.
I will gather my stuff. It's getting dark. I bowed to pick up my now empty backpack and look for its contents, hoping that my new buddies will disappear when I turn around. They just stood there, passing a cigarette back and forth. Two small silhouettes, with a small light wandering between them, with the pine trunks as the backdrop. They're waiting for me to finish picking up my textbooks while whispering something to each other. Romka was the one talking most of the time, though Bayasha was just constantly sniffing with his runny nose and mumbling in agreement. That moment, I saw that old, battered bunny mask from paper mache among the snow-covered notebooks. Its empty eye sockets could be filled with anything, with any eyes, but this mask looked like it only wanted mine. Where did it come from and why was it in my backpack? I picked it up with the utmost care, as if it could bite my finger off at any moment. It was just a carnival mask with a frozen spit on the inside. Still, something felt wrong about it. Something was withering inside it, underneath the layers of old newspapers. I could hear 1,000 of tiny bodies rustling in the trembling fur. Something was trying to chew its way out. Ew, maggots!
Готов, Тоха?
Ready, Toa? Mamka's voice pulled me out of my nightmarish delusion, and I threw the mask away in horror. Somewhere, I won't be able to see it anymore. My innards were twisted from disgust, but I stood up, trying not to show it. Whether those maggots were real or just one of my delusions, I didn't care. All this was too much for a single day. I wanted to get home as soon as possible.
Ладно, пацаны,
Right,
мне
guys,
пора уже.
I need to go. See ya. I held up my hand toward the two silhouettes to say goodbye. A couple of dark, thin lines trembled in front of me. He stood without moving, as if studying me.
С кедрами закорешиться решил.
Hey, decided to buddy up with a cedar?
Мы здесь.
We're
вообще.
over here. Realized that Romka's voice was coming from behind and turned around, embarrassed.
Деревья хреновые.
Trees make for
кенты.
shit buddies.
Ты не ссы.
Relax, we'll escort
Мы
you
тебя
home.
до дома
You're as blind as a
доведем,
newborn
а то ты как
kitten.
слепой котенок. Так
Without us,
здесь
you'll end up
живьем
dead around here.
живешь.
I saw her butt hit against a stump with a flurry of sparks started sizzling in the snow near my feet. Boys let out a strained laugh and took me by the arms. They were leaving the clearing. I turned around in hopes to see Alyssa, or at least some orange dot. What if? But I only saw a rumbling tractor that was creeping out from the corner. I hope we didn't choose wrong decisions here. I don't want our character to become, like, evil. I don't know, though. Maybe we chose wrong choices. Maybe we shouldn't have went with Alyssa. We should have stayed with the other one at the school. We were going alongside a still fire road in silence. Silence felt oppressing, coupled with my lack of vision, so I spoke.
А почему тебя Бяша
Why do they call you Bayosha?
зовут?
Boyat kid just smiled in reply.
Потому что я
Because
волк
I'm a
в
wolf in
овечьей
sheep's
шкуре.
clothing, eh?
Брешешь.
Bullshit.
Пургу гнать?
Fucking around is what he does best.
А звать его так, потому что
He's
плеть
got his
продавца.
nickname because he bleats like a sheep.
Все после того, как
Right
из
after
чёрного
he
гаража
returned
живым
alive
выбрался.
from the black garage. Ayasha's face contorted at those words. I could see it, even through the veil of blindness. He swayed. I started mumbling something unintelligible.
Видишь?
See?
С ним так всегда.
Happens every time
Когда
someone
он
brings it
херню
up.
заговорит.
Ты сейчас о
What are
чем?
you talking about?
Ты серьезно про это
Did you really not
спрашивать
hear
не
that horror
знаешь?
story?
На черной
On
улице,
one pitch black street,
в чёрной,
in a pitch
чёрной
black
подворотне
alleyway,
стоит
there's a pitch
чёрный
black
ключ,
garage.
и он знает
it knows
о тебе
everything
всё.
about you,
Где ты
where you
живёшь,
live, what you
что
like.
любишь.
Who are your
С кем
friends?
наверняка слышал
I'm
о
sure you've heard
пропавших
about the
детях.
missing kids.
Это тут не первый год
This has been
происходит.
going on for a while there.
Все местные знают,
The local
кто здесь
folk know
замешан.
who's behind all of that.
Даже взрослые.
even the adults.
Вообще,
You got
везёт
lucky.
тебе.
You live
Ты
right on the
вот
edge of the
лесу
forest.
считаешь, он к тебе так
This
просто
thing
не
won't come
сунется.
there without a good reason.
Тупо сечёт, что
It
среди
knows
деревьев
that it'll
будет
look
выделять.
too foreign among the trees.
А у нас эта хрень
All in our
где
area,
угодно
this piece
поджидает.
of crap can hide
Иногда в
anywhere.
конце переулка
Be at the
или
end of an
возле
alleyway
дома.
or near your
А
house.
ещё
Also,
идёшь такой себе ночью.
you'll be just going somewhere at night and bam,
Он стоит.
you'll see it in some place that was empty just a while ago.
Дверь открыта.
Its door open,
Внутри
pitch dark
мрак.
inside.
И тут
And
как?
then, Bayasha pulled his cape over his head and started howling with a high trembling note, trying to silence Romka.
Ладно, ладно,
Fine,
поехали.
forget it. I was trying to process Romka's story, but I couldn't figure out what to think of it. During the short time I've been in the snow-laden village, I realized one thing. A lot of people here had some sort of experience with something they couldn't explain. I look at Bayasha, who was pit-pattering on the side.
Тоха, а вот скажи,
Tell me, Toa,
нахрена
why the
вы
hell
сюда
did you move
переехали?
here? I heaved a deep sigh while looking at my feet. Somewhere, down below, the tips of my boots scooped up fog. I spoke words that I recited countless
У
times.
отца тут новая работа.
Dad has a new job here, and my mom used to live here,
Давно еще при
back in the
Союзе.
Soviet days. There's
Здесь
nothing
же
to do
нечего
here
делать,
but rot
как
away.
гнить, ну или как
Or,
Яша,
well,
по
like
лесам шастать.
Boisha here, wander around the forest. Boisha fearfully showed his face from under the hood, like a snail crawling out of its shell, and listened in.
Он у нас турист.
He's a camper, see?
Летом целую
Spent a
неделю
whole
в
week in a
палатке
tent
жил.
last summer.
Здесь, рядом.
Here, nearby.
Прикинь?
Cool shit, right?
Хотя
I mean,
от мамки
with a crazy
его
old
звезда
woman like
я бы
his,
сам в лес сбежал.
I'd also flee to the forest. Kept on going, but I felt like it was the forest was sliding by. Pines with black keys and the space between them, the white ones. The thicket was playing his old creaky melody, the melody of roots, bare caves, and forgotten taigaskeets. Snowflakes flew around, creating a disturbing illusion that somebody was wandering the forest. We are. Somebody tall, unnoticeably ready to camouflage as a tree or a snow pile. And then, when nobody paid attention anymore, they'd continue moving along the road. But it was just a trick of the light. There was no one there. At least I wanted to think that. Rumka suddenly stopped and said,
Слышите?
"Hear that?
В лесу кто-то
Someone
бродит,
is snooping
походу.
around the forest." Skin under my clothes started itching. My stomach started aching. We looked the way Romka was pointing,
Высоченный, причем с нашей
really tall,
скоростью идет.
matching our speed. There were no tall silhouettes behind the masks of pines. Just shadows, creeping in the semi-dark. Slow shadows, fast shadows, hungry shadows. Snow that fell silently from the branch made me shiver and bite into my lip. As if something huge lifted off the tree and flew away, maybe even towards us. Romka picked up a pine cone from the ground and threw it into the thicket.
Эй!
Hey! His shout ricocheted as if it hit a tightly spraying drum. The echo marked Romka, then the silence reigned again.
Кто-нибудь видел?
See that? I shook my head. The only thing I could see were the vertical strokes of trees, the darkness, the snow, and the hazy silhouettes of my companions. I remember the rough textured trunks, the spongy lichen, and the icy bits on the bottom of the ravines.
Пойдемте скорее.
Let's move faster, the sun is setting. I was again grabbed by the elbows and dragged along, toward the forest, towards the pointy spires, spears of branches. I cannot talk right now. The sun had finally sunk behind the green peaks. The darkness withered, spread its shoulders, and started spreading like smoke. It started snowing, thick, sticky flakes. White flies, following the scent of dead meat. My vision had become a small island, washed by dark waters. I was grasped by the same worrying feeling I had in the morning. I felt that somewhere far away, at the edge of my comprehension, I heard a very calm and silent flute playing. The sound was fragile, like ice in March above the dormant waters of bottomless lake. I scraped inside of my ear with my finger to get rid of that auditory hallucination. The forest was silent. I imagined a child walking at night under watchful eyes of pines.
А вы знали Вову Матюхина?
Did you know Vova,
Мальчика, который
the boy who went
пропал
missing
недавно.
recently?
А разве мы не его ищем, сладкий?
Weren't we looking for him, sweetie? Huh? Wait, how did this happen? I shouldn't have stopped, staring at the person who was guiding me. At Elisa, in her unchanging fox mask. The girl was gently holding my elbow.
Что ты здесь?
What? Why are
А
you...
ведь я тебя потерял.
I lost sight of you.
Потерял.
You did because you were careless. I squinted in suspicion.
И давно ты за нами
How long were
идешь?
you following us? Alright, so... I think... I'm not sure, but I can only speculate right now that I think he's hallucinating. And I think he's done this before. Maybe not with her, or a fox person. But I remember in episode 1, the mother gave us pills. There I'm thinking of a completely different game now. Now I'm not sure. My memory is so fuzzy. But I thought he was given a pill that made him tired. That made him go to sleep. Wasn't it daytime when he was given that? Yeah, so I think maybe this kid does hallucinate quite often. Plus, we did see that glove that was all bloody, but it wasn't actually bloody when we got home with it.
Что значит
What do you mean,
давно?
how long?
Я всегда
I was
говорила.
always by your side.
Да и за кем?
And
За вами.
who's us? Stunned, I looked around, but couldn't find Roma or Bayasha. Then I felt her cold finger on my wrist.
Пойдем же.
Let's go.
Мы собирались искать Вову.
We're going to look for Vova. It's kind of dark. I thought we were supposed to go home by now. Without a chance to catch my breath, she started dragging me along through the forest. I was enveloped by the smell of tangerines, coffee, and firecrackers. I felt like I was a small kid again, being led into the unknown. I saw the dark silhouettes of trees ahead. The bushes, hedgehogs, were wary, showing us their spikes. Something rectangular appeared in our way like a small box. I became petrified. I touched the edge of my eye, pulling back the eyelid as if I was trying to correct my vision. A garage made of metal rose up right from the windfall. It was big, no, huge, impossible to move without special equipment. Its walls were painted black, even blacker than the darkness around us. The fox sniffed around. It seemed like her mask twisted in disgust.
Это здесь.
The place. The worried voice of my companion scared me even more than this horrifying metal box.
Здесь?
Here?
Я слышу
I can
его
smell him.
запах. Может, Вова играет
Maybe
с
Vova is playing hide and seek with us and he decided to hide.
внутри.
Inside? I felt like I saw smoke from tentacles that split off the garage, searching for something in the wilted leaves. These tentacles slithered along the snowy blanket, getting close to our feet. And there was a scary screeching sound coming from the other side of a huge black metal gates. Somebody or something definitely waited for us inside. Knock? No, let's go ahead and give this a save. Overwrite that. Yep, sure thing. I thought that my nervous movements were similar to that of a marionette dangling in the hands of a puppeteer. I stepped towards the garage, holding my breath. What's gonna happen? And gave the sheet metal door a small knock with my knuckles. Knock, knock. And then jump back. What the hell? For a moment, it seemed like someone growled in pain inside the metal walls. I heard rusty meat hooks jingle on thick metal chains, awakening someone huge who crawled to open the black gates. Nothing happened. My heart was racing. Hey, there's an owl behind us. Still, nothing. Knock, knock. I hesitated, turned my back. Run. I heard a weak, scared voice resounding in my head. Yeah, now's a good time to save again. What? Yeah, okay. Oh, that was all about. Let's try this again. So did that actually save? I don't even know. Let's check what this says here. Nope. It didn't save it. Why did it not save? Am I not allowed to save right now? Oh, okay. Let's just keep going. Stumbling all over the place, I still rush into the night that was swarming with shadows. Let's try saving here. Nope. I can't. I ran behind the crooked trunk of a pine, sure that Alyssa was by my side. You know, let's do this. Let's do, instead of overwrite, we'll just do a noose. Nope, not even allowed. After a moment had passed, I realized that the girl was nowhere to be found. The forest was mumbling its ancient chants, squeaking, ticking, rustling. I froze. I didn't know how much time had passed before I realized that I was standing in complete darkness, in a circle of trees that were shooting up their trunks high into the sky. Everything around me moved, trembled. My ears went numb from all the rustling. The treetops melted into the darkness of the cosmos. The bushes became empty cells, whose occupants were suddenly set free. It felt like a clawed fang could fly out of that darkness into my stunned face at any moment. I heard a scream somewhere far away. Let's try saving again. Oh my god, it does not want me to freaking... I don't know why I'm not allowed to save. Okay, this sucks. I heard a scream somewhere far away. Anton! God! Someone was looking for me, just like that boy who went missing. Tears stung my eyes. A big drop fell from my lashes. Anton! The scream was closer now. For a moment, I even believed that I was about to be saved. I'm here. One of the trees moved. It wasn't Romka, nor was it Bayasha, an adult, tall with long arms. Any shadows that looked like dogs snuck around behind his back. But those beasts were much larger than Zolka. The force was dormant no longer. No longer it hid its face behind the fake masks. I stood there like a deer pierced by the lights of an incoming truck, and the beasts all stared at me. In the semi-dark, without my glasses, I could see very little, but it was still more than enough to freeze in terror. A foul smell of animal piss and wet fur enveloped the clearing when the creepy precision with the giant at its head moved towards me. My legs gave way because of fear, and I fell to my knees, into the snow. It looked like I was praying to that figure, to the trees, to the darkness. I didn't dare lift my eyes, so when he got close, showering me with his stench, for a moment I thought that his legs were covered in gray fur. I shut my eyes so tight that red circles started dancing on the inside of my eyelids. I don't want to look. I could still hear everything. His breath was akin to sandpaper that was scratching at my ears. His voice was deep, hoarse. No, it wasn't a voice, a roar. I fished my grandma's chant out of the pool of my memory. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Ashes I got his stench and roaring in reply. Words cannot protect against claws and fangs. I was hopeless. And then I've heard a familiar sweet voice nearby.
Ну же, скорее!
Come on, do it.
Попробуй
Get a
его
taste of him.
вкус.
Wait,
Не надо!
no. Something hot slid across my throat, like a meaty, sticky rope. Someone's tongue.
Я же говорила, хозяин.
I told you, master.
Это наш
He's our bunny.
зайчик. Позаботься о
Please,
нем.
take good care of him. Oh, that's why you can't go following furries into the forest. From the narrow embrasures of barely lifting eyelids, covered by my trembling fingers, I watched a horrifying silhouette tower over me. I was taking in the smell of kernels, composite pits, and moss. In front of me stood a scary horned beast with the presence of a monarch. His posture told me of his electrifying nobleness. His horn supported the clouds, and his popped-out leocomas pierced my ready-to-pop eyes with a thorny stare. His hands were full of gifts. Candy fell to the snow, sparkling with its fancy wrappers, silvery packs of chocolate bars, and a chupa chups sticking out from the snow pile with its plastic stick. For you. Candy rained at my feet. A doll fell nearby, and then is starting raining toys, a spinning top, a teddy bear with a torn-up nose, red-headed Carlson without a propeller, and a tin toy soldier with a flag, a firefighter truck, and a crop duster plane. Toys weren't covered in blood, but my imagination was painting them with red spots and crimson leaks all on its own. The horned shadow of the beast moved over the treasures that once belonged to unknown kids. Take. Her hands reached into surrounding darkness, took out a mangy bunny mask that was haunting me. Okay, can I save now? Ah, it won't let me. Okay, that's great. Oh, the mask I didn't want to put on because there was spit in it, and now it's on my face. Great. Bunny. The shadows of beasts around us slowly and gracefully stood up on their rear legs. Then light hit my face, shattering the monster's figure in two. I put my hand up to protect myself. Flashlight's ray slid down.
Антон! Вот ты
There
где.
you are.
Ты совсем
Are you out of your mind?
Это вообще как понимать?
What's this all about? I was staring at my dad, completely stunned, into the space where the monster was just a moment ago. The clearing was enveloped in darkness again, but I could still barely make out the outlines of toys and candies in the snow. And I'm sure if I was brave enough to get close to the bushes, I'd find animal prints there.
Язык проглотил.
Dad got your tongue?
Одноклассники
Your
твои
classmate
к нам
came to
пришли.
us.
Сказали, ты
They
сбежал от
said
них
you
в
ran away
самую
from them,
чащу и-
deep into the forest, and
Что это за дрянь
what the hell are you wearing? Oh, we still got the mask. I pulled the mask down from my sweaty face and threw it into the heaps of toys. Branches cracked in the distance. I pressed myself in my father's chest, engulfed by fear. He started looking around, alerted. It spoke in a tone of voice that was much more nervous.
Так,
Okay,
пойдем отсюда
let's
скорее.
get out of here.
Мать узнает,
If your mother
какой
learns of
ты
this,
там
she'll be
устроил,
mad at
мало не
us,
покажется.
and we'll never forget this day. I reached out for my father, still feeling the chilling embrace of fear. I grabbed his firm hand, felt his quick pulse with my fingertips. I stood up and wobbled again behind my father, following his barely discernible footsteps. Back to civilization, back to light, back to the road where my dad parked his car.
Чтобы дома ни слова.
Not a word about this at home, got it?
Ни единого намека,
Don't
где я
even
тебя
hint at
нашел.
where I found you.
Да, пап.
Alright, Dad. He was holding my hand as if it was the most precious thing in the world and kept telling me how afraid he is to lose me or Olya. But it wasn't that sticky like an animal's tongue fear. His fear was a noble, crystal clear diamond, and I just nodded in reply, kept moving my feet. Then I heard a familiar voice coming from behind me.
Помни,
Remember,
пока
as
ты
long as you're with me,
хочешь,
nobody will lay a finger
никто
on you
тебя
here.
здесь не тронет.
Well, no one, and not a finger, but a creature with a tongue. Okay, I guess that's kinda... different. The car sped towards the house. I just don't like I can't save the game now. Oh, there's that black garage again. Now, did the dad did he see the garage? I pressed my cheek against the window and saw a short building among the trees, a shack darker than night, the garage that was hidden inside the thicket, a crypt made of metal. It almost felt like it was following us. A moment passed and the building disappeared around the corner. I gulped down my dollar. And the white snowflakes just kept dancing in the starry sky. Look what the cat dragged in. Mom was going down the stairs, piercing Dad with her trademark glare. Her face showed something between wrath and condescendence. Suddenly, her gaze shifted towards me and stayed for a dangerously long time.
Так, я не
Hey,
поняла.
what's this? Where are your glasses, Anton?
Где очки?
Did you lose them?
Да в школе поди забыл.
This dummy probably
Представь
forgot
себе.
them at school. A venomous pause followed.
Весь в тебя.
He's your son, all right. Dad glared at Mon and then mischievously winked at me, reminding me of our deal.
Ну ничего,
Well,
есть же
we have spare
запасные.
glasses, so
Проживем
we'll manage somehow.
как-нибудь.
My parents stood in silence a bit longer, and them both of them went to mind their own business. The translation on this is kind of like, it throws me off sometimes. Oya threw herself into my arms before I could even take off my coat.
А я лису
I saw a
видела.
fox! Surprise akin to a shotgun blast. I could only flap my lips in reply. Cup shattered into many little pieces with a loud thang. My mom let it fall from her hands. Her face was pale and her eyes were glued to the ground. This pause, just a split second, felt like an eternity, and my mom spoke with disappointment. First, it was an owl. Now it's a fox. Will you ever get tired of this?
Правда, правда.
But it's true.
Такая пушистая.
She was so fluffy.
Она у забора
She stood on her
стояла на
back legs
задних
near the
лапах,
hedge,
совсем
just
как
like a
человек.
person.
Она меня позвала.
The fox called my name.
Мама вышла.
Then mom
и
came and she
убежала.
fled. There was no fox.
Не выдумывай.
Stop making things up.
Не подходи к ней.
Don't go near her. If it was necessary, I was ready to shake my sister as if she was a doll made of cloth.
Ты чего, Тоша?
What's wrong, Tosha?
Не подходи,
Don't
слышишь?
go. You hear me? My aunt entered the hallway and gave me a surprised look. I hesitated.
Ну, лиса
Well,
ведь
a
укусить
fox will
может.
bite you. I remember fairy tales where foxes used to kidnap children. I imagine my Alyssa, liberated, carnivorous, running through the forest with a dangling sack in her hands.
Это ж была не
It
настоящая.
wasn't a real fox.
Расскажи ему, Оль.
Tell him, Olya.
Она на двух
She's on
ногах
2 legs
ходила,
and she wore
а
a
ещё была
dress.
в платье одета. Только она была в
She was
заправду.
real.
Видишь?
See? Mom showed us a tired smile, as if it was the only explanation needed. I also forced myself to smile. My smile was like a thin piece of soap, right before it dissolves completely on your palm. But when I was left alone with my sister, I whispered,
Еще раз увидишь ее.
see her again, run. Thoughts of the forest beast bombarded me like rain of candy and toys. Alright, can I save now, please? Are you gonna let me save? Or is there gonna be another error? Oh my god, I actually got to save. I thought that was actually gonna be the end. Be if I couldn't save. There was a hairy silhouette standing in front of me, towering over the treetops. Who was he? What happened in the forest? What's happening to me? Shut my eyes and threw the vitamins in my mouth. Washed them down with water. Please, stop driving me mad. Please. I don't think those are vitamins. I really don't. I barely managed to force myself to do homework, but those math problems just refused to be solved. Numbers in my notebook tumbled around and mixed in a whirling dance, sometimes running over the lines. My head became heavy from that pandemonium, and I almost dropped it into that chain of numbers. My eyelids felt like there were tiny weights tied to them, the type used in grocery stores. What kind of weights would be in grocery stores? What? I'm confused. So confused. At that moment, I surrendered and closed my notebook. The memories of my day started flashing before my eyes. Let's test this save again. Oh, okay, it works fine. I was in the middle of the stuffy school corridor. I could see the literature classroom from here, the faces of dead classical writers on their portraits. The prim and regal pose of our homeroom teacher, Lilia Pavlovna. Yeah, I'm not even going to keep trying that. Around the corner was her daughter, Katya, a snitch and a gossip, eagerly awaiting for me.
Эй,
Hey, transfer student, transfer student.
маленький.
Чего тебе,
What do you
Катя?
want, Katya? She got on her tiptoes and started swaying while holding her hands behind her back, and then asked me, with a fake smile on her face,
А,
Can I ask you
скажи,
something?
пожалуйста,
Why did you get transferred
почему это
here?
тебя к нам-
I have told the truth about this to Paulina. But Katya will sell on the market for 3 Yeah. It would be the same as printing all my thoughts and hanging them near Vova's picture for everyone to see. So I reverted to an answer I knew by heart.
Это все из-за моих родителей.
It's all because of my parents.
У папы тут новая
Dad has a new
работа,
job
а
here, and my
Мама...
mom. Katya didn't even listen to me. Just rushed past the perked up ears of her friends, whispered something while stealing glances at me and giggling.
Да-да,
Yeah, right.
конечно, у нас тут совсем за
He takes us all for
дурачков
fools.
держит. Я вот
I've
слыхала,
heard it's all
что
because of
это
his
всё из-за
father.
него. Он недавно кому-то
He crossed the
другому
road
дорогу
of some
перешёл.
big shot,
И
and now his
теперь
family is
всей
hiding in
своей
our
семейкой
remote little
в
village.
нашем захолустье.
Неправда.
That's
Ты
not
всё
true.
врёшь.
You're lying.
А слышали?
Oh, and did
Слышали,
you
как
hear
он
how
спокойно
he
просто
hit
так стукнул?
Bobian out of the blue?
Это каким
What
надо
kind of
быть
freak
уродом,
must you
чтобы в
be
первый же
to start
день
bullying your
одним
classmates from day one?
одноклассникам
Прекрати.
Stop.
Ты же
You know
знаешь,
he
он
started
первый.
it.
И будто этого мало.
If that wasn't enough, there are rumors that he's hanging out with delinquents
Что
from
он
Womka
спутался с
Payatafin's
вампирами
gang.
из- Ой, девочки,
Be careful with those
сумки
boys.
проверяйте.
Oh, be careful with your bags, girls.
Того и гляди, в гардеробе
I wouldn't be
вещи
surprised
начнут
if things start
пропадать.
disappearing from our wardrobe,
Будем знать.
and we'll know who to
Это
blame.
Петров с дружками
Petrov and his
постарался.
friends.
Да-да-да.
Yes, yes, yes.
Замолчи.
Shut up.
Заткнись.
Look at him
Вот
scream
он
as if something
раскричался,
bit him.
будто уж- а зрачки-то-
His pupils, look how
зрачки
wide they
такие
are.
широкие. Опять чего доброго
I hope he won't go
Катюша
insane and
все
resort to
эти
violence
руки
again.
пускать начнет. Не зря же его
I mean,
мать
there must be a
таблетки
reason
дает.
his mom always feeds him those pills, right? How does she know that? I stood there in confusion, trying in vain to understand how she found out about my medicine, and what scared me even more was the possibility that her nonsense had some truth mixed in.
Да-да,
Yes, that's right.
он такой же ненормальный,
He's as insane
как
as
и
his
его
little sister.
сестры. Представляете,
Can you imagine
как из
that she
сумасшедшей
says a
дурочки
human-sized owl
каждую
visits her
ночь
every night?
прилетает сова
Okay,
ростом с
okay.
человека.
How in the world does this girl know so much about us?
Только что ты
Not a
ей
single healthy
сказал,
person has seen it,
а этот наивный простак
and this simpleton
не
believes her.
верит.
Can you imagine that?
Вы-
Then I caught a single kind look from the smirking crowd.
Это правда,
Is that
Антон?
true, Anton?
Неужели
Are you really?
действительно?
Are you
Тебе не
unwell?
становится?
Полина,
Paulina,
послушай
please,
меня.
listen to me.
Как же, как
Yeah,
же?
right.
Не слушай
Don't listen to this
своего
liar,
ума, Полиночка.
Polonokshka.
Ты еще не знаешь.
You don't even know
Он тебя на
that he
другого
cheated on you
поменял.
with someone not from our school. What? Cheated on? We're not even in a relationship. What are you talking about?
На.
With Alyssa. Polina slouched as if someone kicked her in the stomach, and then burst out in tears and fell to the dirty floor, wailing and screaming. No. Why her, Anton? Why? I couldn't understand her reaction. I still rushed to Polina's side before getting shoved violently by Katya. Get your paws off her, you
Свою
monster!
чудовище.
Rage was building up under the veil of my fear. Yeah, I am so confused. So, we never were in a relationship. She asked me to stay after and walk her home, but we didn't do that. Is that how you court someone in this village? Like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna ask you to do something for me. So now we're gonna go out. We'll start dating. But how does this Katya know about our sister, the owl, the pills we get? I am so confused. Like, is she a hallucination? Are both of them hallucinations? Is Polina and Katya not real? Maybe? Slowly rose from the cloudy mist. Felt my upper lip lift, creep up, showing my teeth.
То, что твой отец
The fact that your father beat your mother doesn't give you the right to do the same to girls. My fists became hammers. I couldn't unclench them. Well, that we don't know if that happens either. They never talked about that. It seems more like the mother is the dominant one. Nobody can speak about my family like that. I came to my senses when I already lunged at the angry Katya. Aha, he went nuts. Nuts. Help, help. Petrov went completely insane. At the same moment, the crowd around her became louder, started whistling and roaring. And growing. The subtle silhouettes of my schoolmates became larger, wider. I shot upwards, towards the ceiling. Into a giant black forest chock full of toothy faces. Alright, I don't think any of this is actually happening. I think this is all, we got to school and we're having a hallucination, or we just woke up. Or we're asleep. I shrank to a tiny ball of fur and started shaking in fear before the mock of ulcer-ridden trunks that belonged to either trees or humans. It was impossible to tell. But you've finally shown your animal nature. Coward. Hetty's face was twisted with jubilation and ecstasy. Anton. Why her? No. What makes her better than me? Well, our guy has a thing for furry. Lena screamed while choking on her tears. He is just an animal, an outsider. Ooh. A scary flapping of wings came from the forest. A pair of giant white ears descended somewhere from above, and I dug myself into them. Please, wake up! I jumped up, almost falling out of bed. Apparently, I was thrashing around for hours on the sweat-soaked sheets. Olia screamed, pulled me out, set me free from the tentacles of fear. Please, wake up, wake up! I took my eyes a while to focus on the silhouettes near the window. Olia's voice was distant. My head was still ringing after the fight. Sounds got distorted, as if my ears were stuffed with cotton. My sister, as distressed as ever, just kept on repeating the same phrase. Owl, the owl. Please, I'm scared. Her tears poured on my heart like boiling water, but I was almost thankful for the owl's appearance. Otherwise, this scared Olia wouldn't have woken me up. Wait a second, Olia. Want me to read Wazilka for you? Give me... I placed my bare heels on the cold floor, felt around for my glasses. Remembered Simeon, his underhanded act, and sighed. Anton, please, please, look! She couldn't tear her eyes off the window as if it was a staring contest. I found the light switch with my hand. The lamp poured bright light all over me. I got up. My vision fooled me, moving the window closer only to push it farther the next moment. Sister was just a blurry spot. I took a hesitant step forward.
Оль,
Olia?
что там?
What's there?
Что-то случилось?
What happened?
Ты хочешь, чтобы
You want me to
я
open the curtains? No, please don't. Owl is there. The voice was coming from behind. I turned around and froze from terror. Ooh, so who is in our room? Teary-eyed Olia stood in the doorway. Who are you talking to right now? She stared at me with eyes that were red from crying, with her hands wrapped around her shoulders. Her voice was nervous, as if she was afraid to hear my answer.
Я разговаривал
I was talking to you, to someone who pretended to be you. Lights outside my windows creaked ominously, as if something huge was sitting on top of it. And the thing that pretended to be Olia started spreading, changing shape, grow to scary heights under the light of a carnivorous moon. Please, come closer. Come here. The voice didn't belong to my sister anymore. The thing that was hiding behind my curtains got tired of pretending, making me look like a fool. I pinched myself as hard as I could, hoping the silhouette near the window was just a continuation of my nightmare, a hallucination, brought upon the cursed house. And those don't bite, do they? The The silhouette was towering before me under the veil of mist. I heard Olia's shrill scream when someone had knocked on the window. Knock, knock. Came to get us! Another knock. I stepped back in the middle of the room, as if there existed nooks where I could hide from this horror. The sound was sharp, metallic. The lamp started shimmering, and it suddenly lightened the hole and went out, like a candle under a strong wind. The filament inside it snapped with a ringing sound. The darkness I was waiting for that exact moment poured from all of the angles and enveloped me. There was only this window left in the whole universe. Moonlight poured through it, painting everything, the color of bones that were exhumed from a crypt. Olia started squealing and pressed herself into my back, seeking protection. And then an eye, burning with carnivorous fire, stared at us from the window. Knock, 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 knock. No, I wasn't trying to break the window. It wasn't trying to break the window. It was toying with us. It just kept on knocking, driving us mad. Knock, 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 knock. As if a giant clock was measuring the time left for us, its pendulum swinging above the abyss. She was screaming in desperation, her hands clutching my arm like a pair of pincers. Anton, Anton, come closer. I could really make out a pair of wings that spread out above the black spot. Tell her, Anton. Tell her I won't be a bad girl anymore. Never ever. I just want to leave. Please. The moonlight suddenly disappeared, and the room descended into darkness. We couldn't see the burning eye anymore. I swallowed this stingy lump that was stuck in my throat. I stepped toward the curtains, tranced by the call of this disfigured guest. Olia was standing behind me, mumbling, "I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good." The bleak window was creeping closer. Curtains rustled. I reached out to move them aside so I could look my fear in the eye. At that moment, I heard noise coming from our parents' bedroom. Without thinking, I pulled the curtain to the side in one swing. Nothing. Though there was something shining on the ledge among the scattered feathers. My glasses. The one that Simeon took from me. How did they get here? Was that a gift from the gurgling night? Did that owl really bring them here? I looked at the front yard, at the foreboding clearing, at the toothy forest. Not a soul. Not a trace of our late-night guest. Only the old lamppost, dreaming like a lone watchman among the snowy desert. The dry window frame creaked. I tore away the insulating tape and the strips of glued newspaper. Opened the window with big trouble. Frost pinned me in his little needles. The painting on my walls moved from the draft. I touched my glasses. Sure, they would melt in my hands. They were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. Semyon and his gang just pulled a prank on me. That was it. That's it. A smooth white blanket was glittering under the street lamp just outside our yard. Nobody was to get close to the house. To climb the pipe to the ledge of my window, they would surely leave footprints, but there were none. I cautiously took my glasses. My wrist was still intact. Nobody pulled me into the darkness, full of restless writhing.
Вы почему не спите?
Why aren't you in bed? Strayed from surprise and almost fell out of the window.
Совсем сдурели?
Are you out of your mind?
Жарко, что ли?
Did it feel hot in here?
Не болели давно?
You want to catch a cold? Al was here. Kosha chased it away.
А ну-ка,
Go to your room immediately and get in your bed. And you. Mom paused, directing her seething eyes on me. She was thinking of a punishment equivalent to my crime. In the end, she just waved her hand, took Olia by the shoulder and left, throwing gloomy words in my way.
Завтра поговорим.
We'll talk tomorrow. I managed to get the frame back in place with a couple of hits, pressed it in the latches with all the strength my fingers could muster. The cold left the room, but the fear was still present. I placed my glasses on my nose and started studying my reflection in the window. It didn't look like a face, more like a death mask, just like the one worn by the boy from the notice board. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. The black and white face was staring at me through the clearing between student heads. Let's go save. And no issues. And it wasn't Vova. His face was right beside it. I recognized the fat cheeks, the damaged skin. Semyon. Baburin's photo was printed out and placed under the glass, like an exhibition piece. Oh, well, he's gone missing now. Oh, and that was, all of episode 2. Alright, so that was episode 2 of Tiny Bunny. Things are getting real interesting, I can say that. Oh, man, there was just so much freaking talking in that. My mouth is all like, blah, 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 blah. Can't even read words that are on the screen right. So that's really interesting. So, is the fox girl real, or is she a hallucination? Is our guy really into furries? I'm not sure. Are we going to become the bunny? Is that what they're trying to like get to with the story? Now, there's only one more episode left, and that's episode 3. It's supposed to be 5 episodes, but they haven't gotten to the other ones yet. But I really want to know what's going to happen. And I want to know if we made a bad choice going with Alyssa instead of the other one, Polina, or whatever her name was. Oh well, I'm sure we'll get a little bit more information in episode 3. Not much, and it's supposed to be 2 more after that. Yeah, I'm loving this game. Really good story. And on that note, you all have yourselves a good one, and I will see you later.